Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at. The bottles getting nippy up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, February 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Last night was difficult. Had a winning night snatched from my hands. And the Utah plus 5.5 loss in triple overtime. I lost Utah by a hook. I lost Temple by a hook. The Utah loss stung and it hurt. But this is the life we chose. I told myself, sitting in the anger, that this is all I want to do. And if this is all you want to do, then you're going to lose some games in triple overtime by a hook when you're on the dog. You know, that's just part of what we signed up for. It's part of what we asked for. It's part of what we love. Now, I know it hurts and it stings, but I shook it off. I did wallow for a little bit. Sent Mikey Money a text message. But I was like, what am I just going to sit here and sulk? No, I took the under 233.5 in the Lakers Nuggets game. At halftime, I moved with a full unit on the Lakers plus 8.5, and I won that by a hook. Yes, it was a losing night because of the losses in college basketball. But we can't let the losses hurt us to the extent where this is not what we want to do anymore. And I felt that. I needed to have a winning day yesterday, and I didn't. And I felt that anger, that intense anger, and I shook it off. And I'm so excited to be here today. A new day, a new opportunity, a very interesting card. Every day offers us something new and exciting. Only 12 games across NHL, NCAA, and NBA. It's my son's 3rd birthday. I come in here with hope. I come in here with an intensity where I want to win so badly. And I want to enjoy it. And I don't want to sit here and wallow off of a triple overtime half-point loss on a dog. They are going to happen. But we start every day fresh with hope and ready to attack the board. It is great to see all of you guys here in the chat. We have our $50 horse race popping off as well. Our $50 horse race will be at the end of the show. Dan Kelly in the house says 3 weeks ago I posted in the chat Cavaliers to win the Central plus 750. Today, the best you can find is minus 170. I wish I got on that. That was an absolute beauty. And Dan Kelly says, today I'm getting on Cleveland to win the Eastern Conference at plus 1,100. I love it. I love it, Dan. I'm going to copy and paste that. I think that today, and I mean this, I'm not just talking shit. You know, we find the angles that we want to move on, and we bet them, and we deal with the consequences that come. And sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're bad. Today's going to be a winning day. Mark my words. Today is going to be a winning day for us. Fap win in the house. He is on San Diego State money line going up against Nevada. Both teams playing such good basketball right now. I'm very, very, very excited to break that game down. Another twist here, because there's just 12 games on the board. Bobano will be opening up his NBA account with us right here on Betting with the Bag. So Bobano with his first NBA card with us. So all 12 games will be broken down by Bobano, and myself. I'm going to pop fat wins action here just above that San Diego State Aztecs Nevada Wolfpack spot. Thank you for sharing that with us, Fap. I hope you're getting a lot of use out of that vat of lube. There's my guy, the Nuke worker, off to Florida tomorrow with the wife for a couple weeks. Going to tan up for Babapalooza 3. Oh, Nuke, that's great, man. I can't wait. And that's great. Yeah, put in the time with the wife because you're going to be with the squad in March doing it up. I love that. Dan Kelly, Rocco Rogers, 5-1 night in NHL. Let's keep rolling. Says first period overs all hit. I love that. Laugh off the loss of the Jets. The Jets is a real interesting situation, and I tried to give you guys some pause on your Jets love. Now, I don't want the Flyers under really any circumstances, and we're going to deal with the same thing with the Oilers. And so what it is now I know that the Jets winning streak stopped. The Oilers just stopped, and the Jets winning streak stopped, right near the end before the All-Star break. But you know what can hurt a hot team is a break and a road trip. Those are two tricky things. So the Oilers were in that situation against Vegas. They're still in it tonight against the Ducks. And the Jets, I don't expect the Jets really to turn it around here until they get home. And then I expect them to start showing out again. And they're bringing in Monahan playing heavy minutes. But great job, Rocco, all across the board. Serious business in the house. I had a winning night in NHL. I did live bet the under, which I thought was a mistake. I live bet so, we have our plan. I was on the under 6.5 in the Hurricanes Avalanche game. Hurricanes get out to a 3-0 lead. And then I bet the under 7.5 live. Then the Avalanche scored 2 goals in 5 seconds, and it balloons to 9.5, but still cashed that 7.5 and came within a taint hair of cashing the original 6.5. What a roller coaster ride it was yesterday. And it was tough. As you guys know, sometimes it's tough to shake up those losses. And that Utah loss, because it came right on the heels of losing Temple by a half point. Oh, God. That's tough to take, man. It's tough to take. Joe Thompson in the house has easy cash last night on Merrimack, Long Island over. Got another easy casher today. Dayton VCU over. Shout out to our guy, Joe T, man, coming in and running real nice. Let's get that here. That is the first game we are discussing in college basketball, Dayton VCU. Get that locked in. Bo Jackson coming off a big night. Smooth balls play of the day. Pittsburgh, Minnesota, first period under 1.5. Jay Smooth, I stared at that under for a long time. And I get it. I completely get why you are interested in it. I thought about the first period under as well. Both teams have played the 3 straight unders. I thought the full game under 6. I can completely understand, Jay, why your plan is that first period under 1.5. Great to see all you guys. Bo Jackson said the way some folk were talking, I say you would think Kobe was lacing them up last night. It was not easy staying off the Lakers, and I moved on them live at +8.5 at halftime. But it was not easy staying off of them. And, another thing that's so difficult with what we do is everything happens so quickly. I mean, that score, they are tied there, right? They're sitting there tied. What's the score at that point? Like, what, 104? And then Jamal Murray hits that 3. And then he runs the length of the court and hits that running flip shot to make it a 5-point game. It all happens so fast. And even saying that out loud, I start worrying about the Super Bowl on Sunday because it was 20-10 going into the fourth quarter 4 years ago when these teams met. And the Chiefs took over so fast. It's like it goes so fast that you can't really do anything about it. And for all of you guys on the Lakers, when it's tied up at 104 there's 2 minutes left. You got to feel good about the situation here. But there are no fairy tales in Shawshank. Fucking Jokic and Jamal Murray, they don't care that the Lakers fans want this win for Kobe. They want to, they got their own Mamba mentality. That was tough, man. But I wanted the Timberwolves so badly, and you guys on the Bucks got me off of the Timberwolves, and so there was a stretch last night where I was filled with, it's not fire. It was anger. And I had to shake it off. I can't let that losing attach itself. You got to shake it off and fire away and believe in yourself. Whew. Kent Davies in the house. And not only that Temple spot, but goddamn, that was at 10.5 at tip off, and I got a 6.5 like such a chump and lost by a hook. Good God. Ooh.
I will be Jesus.
I
will be announcing my confidence pick for the Super Bowl and another play tonight at the end of the show.
All right. If he thinks he can get in my head, he's not welcome. He's not welcome in my head. He's not welcome. Should I believe him? Maybe I shouldn't even believe him when he gives me the confidence pick. We are capable of tying. You know what I'd prefer to know, Jose, is what's your call on the total? I don't care about your pick. What's your call on the total? That's what I would
Who's
prefer.
to say? Who's to say?
I don't care who you pick. I don't even know if I should believe you or not. Rocco Rogers says, pay attention to center's points against the Nuggets. Gave out 80, 25 plus or minus 105. Aiden Cash Sunday, Brooke Lopez last week. Center score on the Nuggets. Bo Jackson, I love that Lakers came back and drained their energy. Stacks play today. Sacramento Kings team total over 116.5. I have moved on the Sacramento Kings. And I almost moved on the Pelicans, but good God, another situation where 98% of the cash is on the Pelicans. Like, it's easier for me to fade the Nuggets after they won last night. And, they slayed the dragon on Mamba night with the statue. God, the statue looks nice. They did it. But here, the Lakers can't be pleased with the situation. And, but I'm right. I love it, Justin. So I correlate there. And I'm interested. And especially, you have the Kings coming off the horrific display against the Pistons, and then you have the Pelicans winning 4 straight and looking so good. JV, I don't think Valanciunas is going to be in the lineup for the Pelicanos either. So we got lots to talk about and 12 games to do it. There's my guy Jay Peasy in the house. Ian Shaber, Gerald Jones, Dan Kelly, always dropping such important stuff. Says not let the losses hurt proper money management. No, that's true. That's also true. True. Jay Smooth, Lucas Ryan in the house, Billy Friedrich. Oh, and thank you guys saying happy birthday, Carter. 3 years old today. Very proud to be a dad. And Ella is so magic, but having a boy is special. I'm just proud. It's the right time in my life to put all my energy into family. So I'm very thankful. Kong's Clips here in the house. We got Stimmy OG off another big winning day. I love to see it. Stimmy was the winner of our poker tournament. Picked up just a taint hair under a K in that one. Great job. Steve G ready to go. Dabby Cab, Dabra Cadabra in the house. Board sweepage for Dabby Cab. Keeping it simple and firing away, giving out winners. And the fun part about the cappers on the show right now in college basketball, including Bobano, C-Mac, myself, we have, I've got to update Dave Rogers. Because I was going to say that we are all Dabby Cab, Mikey Money, all in the black. And I've got to update Dave because he hasn't been on the show for a couple of weeks. So I got to update that. But we are really seeing in that. But God, 1-5 yesterday. Hurt. Still healthy in the black, but good God, did it hurt. Great group here. Slats, he says another sweat, but we get there again with the Panthers giving us the wins, minus 1.5, team total 3.56 left. Useless stat of the day, Pens 9-1 in their last 10 versus the Wild. Gerald Jones, Super Bowl prop play of the day. Chris Jones over a half sack. I believe, I've got to go over that, but I think Ramon Scott's also on that. One of our cappers was also on that. Marcus McCarthy ready to go. Caddy ready to eat. Crystal Craig in the house. Great to see you, Crystal. We need more female cappers. They help balance the energy, and I love capping with you, Crystal Craig. I believe you're out here in the 6. I believe you're in Toronto, so we want to do a big meetup at Woodbine. Get everybody out there rocking with us. So shout out to Crystal Craig. Love capping with you. Love having you in here. Gifted Cartel ready to get to work. NCAA spreadsheet play today is Nevada. Interesting. It is Nevada. And Chosen One got action right underneath it. So let's get this copied and pasted. I love the opportunity. This is a very rare situation here. 12 games for us to deep dive in across 3 sports. We really should deliver the goods here. So FAP win is on San Diego State. Moneyline spreadsheet play today is on Nevada, and Chosen One is on the under 140.5. There, 140.5. Let's copy and paste that. Get that ready to go. All right, great to see all of you guys. So, Dan Kelly says, it's a taint hair narrower or wider than a pubic hair? That's a very, very good question. All I can tell you is it's shinier. It shines. It radiates. Taint hair radiates. That's all I can tell you. I haven't tested it compared to pubic hair, but I can tell you that it's just, it's alive. It's alive with magic. All right, it is time to get to work. Slatsy45 says, happy birthday to Carter, future pro hockey player and gambler. See Shane Pinto. It scares me. It scares me. He's got the blood. Makes me very concerned for his well-being. Red Girl in the house. JP says, Ducks off for 9 days. Oilers off a loss to kill a winning streak. If I can find an Oiler bet outside that minus 269 money line, I'm on it. I'm not. It's a tricky thing. Did you see Winnipeg bounce back? No. You may be so right, JPZ, and we'll hear Bobano talk about it, but that is not something I'm rushing to the window for. Not at all. Personally, but look, they could smash and grab. We'll see. A serious business ready to go. Great to see all you guys. So Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day is the 76ers in NBA. Let me make sure I got that set up. It's going to be fun to have Bobano delivering NBA for us. It's been too long since he's done that with me. So great to see all of you guys. So let's get to work here. Philly Eagle Flyer, Twin City. What a great group. Brent Cook ready to go. Fernando Mendoza. I love all this. Perky ready to eat. Mike Wilkerson. We got Coin in the house. Barry Smith. It's been a while since we've seen you, man. Smoking Tree. Hawks minus 2.5. Says easy fucking money today. One of the fun things about this NBA card, too, is so many teams. I think there might be one that's not. But almost every single team is either on the first half of a back-to-back or the second half of a back-to-back. And we have that all set up, and we'll talk about how that messes. But Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today going right up against the Smoking Tree. Our guy Scotty Rock's big bag play of the day. Only play so far, Billy Friedrich. If I've missed any picks, let me know because I would like to copy and paste, but we got to get started. Here. So let me get that Dayton VCU over here. Only 12 games. You'd be surprised how many pages of notes I have in 12 games. Come on. Okay, here we go. So that is the Dayton VCU over. So we have Joe T and Billy Friedrich on the Dayton VCU over. Billy, I was thinking of you yesterday. Earl Sports, I know you had a monster day. I was thinking about all that you had said in the chat and love to see it. 4-0 in NHL, 11-1 overall. Nicholas Earl killing it. Perky says 41 days until Publipalooza. But it's Crystal, 2 hours north of Toronto. So we could still rock a Woodbine day. We'd love to have you come down. We need to get everybody together here. So that's everybody. Everybody ready to rock. If I missed anybody, DC Capper, if I missed any of you guys, thank you for being here with us. We got a lot of work to do. And I was thinking Billy Friedrich because, Billy was on Arizona. And I was like, I told in my head watching the game, I was like, in the second half, of course. I did make some mistakes. I could have live bet both Utah. I could have live bet both Utah and Temple. And Mikey Money did. It was just I was not watching those games. I was following them. With all of my screens, but I was not watching, and I try to only live bet when I'm actually watching and I left money on the table. Look at that. Swiss Horton looking for Loshak there in Brooklyn. I love it. Rodney Barton in the house. But yeah, I was thinking of you, Billy Frieda, because I knew you were on Arizona. I was like, look, the times where we're all together on the same bet has been cashing at a very high rate. The days of us all being together on a loser are, I don't want to say they're gone. And they were a huge part of the last 6 years where if everybody's on one side, the ROI is horrific. That's changed over the last 6 months. And that's a really good sign. But we'll see how it all bangs out. Let's get to work. Let's bring on your star of Fridays here on Betting with the Bag. It's going to be a nice opportunity for him as well to hammer a 6-game NBA card with us. I know a lot of you guys have rocked in NBA with him for a long time, so it's nice to have him here with us. We have a 3-game NHL card, 3-game NCAA card, 6-game NBA card, and the need to win has never been higher. So let's deliver. Please welcome from Canada's black and yellow, Steel Town, Hamilton, Ontario. Please welcome Mr. Ian Cameron to the show. Bobano, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm here for the entire trifecta today. NHL, college basketball, and NBA. Of course, I do NBA shows with our good friends Ski Profit, Trot Wham, and Dutch 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So bringing a little NBA to the show here today as well.
I love it. Ben Stevens says there should be a horse race for the people in green for $25. I know that I don't know what we're doing here, but we're missing the boat. Ben, where have you been, buddy? Where have you been? Jose, is this a joke, Ben? This is a joke. There is our horse race that will happen right after NBA, and it's for $50, Ben. It's for $50, Ben. Okay. All right. I don't know if you're messing with us or not. Res Mob in the house. All right, let's get back to work here. Bobano. I'm excited to cap the card with you today. Let's go over a couple things here. Start up into NHL so we can get set up for our first game, Penguins, Minnesota Wild. But the important part here is your draw record. Your draw record has been very, very good. And I wonder how this is going to affect the other spots on your card because and I know the Friday sample size is just 1 day a week, but I enjoy tracking your action, and your draws here on the show are hitting at 25% with an ROI plus 17%. All of us wanted to track the draws as you've been hitting them harder, and it's very interesting that your draws are hitting so successfully. And in fact, if we go to last week was a rough week for you, and then you cash a 3.7 unit draw at the end with Kraken Blues to take care of everything. So
there you go. Clean up the mess is what I call it. They're cleaner uppers. They're cleaners, the draw bets when they win. Yeah.
It's pretty wild next time. There's my guy, Steve G. Next time, Steve, I gotta set up a meeting, man, when you come to Toronto. And that goes for everybody. If anybody gets a chance to come to Toronto, let's roll and hang out. All right, Bobano, let's get to work. Maybe there are some draws in your card here today. We start at 8 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Penguins 23-17-7, 10-9-4 on the road. At the Minnesota Wild 22-23-5, 12-11-3 at home. We're at Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Tristan Jarry, I expect a lot of the hot goaltenders to stick around. Now, we expect not to see that in the Rangers game, which makes sense. We'll talk about all that. But Tristan Jarry, coming off his league-leading 6th shutout of the season, playing very well. And Marc-Andre Fleury, not so much. And I don't even know if it will be him or Gustafsson. Do you know who's going to be in net for Minnesota?
It's been Gustafsson lately. It's Fleury tonight, though, confirmed.
Going up against, trying to spark him, I guess. I wonder how that. I didn't sit with that part of it very long. But I was concerned that he might be in between the pipes. Now, Marc-Andre Fleury is full of character, and heart. Maybe he shines here. But if I was on the under, which I came so close to, I would want Gustafsson in net after that display, or how he's been playing lately. Steve G saying Fleury is confirmed. There's my guy Nordy in the house. Pittsburgh power play at 14.1%, penalty killing 81.4%, Minnesota power play at 20.5%, penalty killing at 73.8%. Jordan Norman says, let's have a great weekend all. I'm not going to get into details if, people don't want to bring them out. But Nordy's got some things going on with his with his family here, and medical stuff going on, and no need to get into any kind of what's going on. But what we could do here as a group is send as much love and positive energy to the Jordan Nordman family. They're now in Edmonton. They made the move from Toronto. Just all the as much positive energy and love and light to our guy Nordy. If we could all just take a second and send it his way for his family going through some medical things, and we want great news, and great news is possible, right? As great news is always possible in these situations. So if we could all just take a second and send Nordy and his family as much positivity and love as possible. We love you, Nordy. We love capping with you. And look at you. We talk about how people handle situations. Nordy's going through this at home, and what's he do? He comes in here, says, "What up, Jimmy and gang? Let's have a great weekend all." He's a bastion of positivity all the time, light and positivity. And if we can shine some back to him, it's important. This is important stuff. All right, let's get into the line history here. I don't care about the cash flow. Speaking of not caring about the cash flow, none of us would have been on the Leafs against the Stars if we cared about where the cash was. 98% at Showtime was on the Leafs at that point. And, I wanted the Leafs, and I wasn't going to let that being a public spot have anything to do with it. And I can't believe, it's so funny in that game. Nylander misses the empty net. But look, I wouldn't have been in that situation if it wasn't for Nylander's snipe job and how well he played in that game. But watching him not even get to the red line to take that shot, all he had to do was take two more steps. And then, of course, Dallas scores, makes it 5-4, and I just wanted to open hand slap him. But that's another story for another time and another game. Here we go. The Minnesota Wild right now are at plus 114 at Pinnacle. They opened up at minus 103. They're actually at plus 116 now, so another move towards them. So there's been a 17-cent move. A 19-cent move towards the Pittsburgh Penguins, and that makes sense to me. I watched the Blackhawk Wild game, and it was strange. I mean, the Wild, I was on the Wild in a big way. Puck line and team total over 3.5. They were out shooting Chicago 15-2. They were completely dominating the game. Kaprizov gets a breakaway. Mrazek's playing spectacular. He makes this beautiful poke check. And then from that point on, the Chicago Blackhawks were the better hockey team in that game. The Wild were fortunate to win 2-1. This total is, and then even that one, even Zuccarello had the empty net for our puck line. And there was over 2 minutes left in the game with the empty net, which would have meant that Chicago would have kept their net empty, and we could have cashed our team total over 3.5. But Zuccarello missed. How many missed empty nets I've had in the last 3 weeks or so makes me want to smash something. But let's stay positive. This total is sitting at 6. It's been at 6 the whole time. It opened up at minus 106 to the under. It's now minus 108. This has moved. This has stayed within a 4-cent radius here, so there's not much movement on the total. So the Penguins coming off their second straight win, 3-0 at home versus the Jets on Tuesday. And Sidney Crosby was spectacular. Now, it was the 5-minute major that completely changed the game, but this beleaguered Penguins power play went 2 for 3. Is this the chance for them to heat up? We know they have enough skill to heat up. We've been wondering what the hell's been wrong with them. They scored 2 power play goals. Yari has his league-leading 6th shutout. Sidney Crosby was 15-7 in the face-off circle. He was absolutely spectacular, absolutely dominant. This is a 14.1% power play over the year. It's got to be better. Their penalty killing is good at 81.4%. If they develop the top 6 or 7 power play in the NHL, they make the playoffs. I truly believe that. They make the playoffs. If it stays at between 14 and 17% this year, they don't make the playoffs. Minnesota's power play has been good, 20.5%. Penalty killing being poor at 73.8%. Wild coming off that underwhelming 2-1 win at the Blackhawks on Wednesday. That was their first game out of the break. Jonas Brodin is expected to be back in the lineup. He's been dealing with a bad illness. We don't know exactly what it was, but he's been out for 2 weeks. He's expected to be back, and that's extremely important with Spurgeon out. And then one final thing before we hear your take on this spot here is Brock Faber is the real deal. My God, is he good? I've been getting a better eye on him with Spurgeon out. He was picked up in the Kevin Fiala trade. This is Kings draft pick, second round draft pick, like 45th or something like that overall. And he's a Minnesota boy. He played at the University of Minnesota. Now he's playing for their hockey team. And I hate to give real high expectations, but he reminds me of a young Doughty out there. He can do everything. He's going to be an elite defenseman in the NHL. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Penguins, Minnesota Wild. What's your plan?
Yeah, I agree with that. He is going to be really good. He's already shown it. Very good instincts, very good puck mover, great offensive upside from the blue line, and he's actually gotten a lot better defensively. They said that was the one area where, he could improve, and I think he's gotten a lot better in a lot of those areas. You know what? I haven't been on the Penguins very much this year. I haven't thought very highly of the Penguins this year, quite honestly, but I don't know. They looked really good against Winnipeg. But again, Winnipeg, flounders again and looks awful again last night against Philadelphia. So do you really want to make too much of that? Maybe not. But what I do know is two things. I do like the Penguins' form, certainly more than Minnesota's right now. I don't think the Minnesota Wild are any good right now, quite honestly. I think when you look at them too, they miss Brodin and Spurgeon being out. I'd love to know what their record is. I guarantee it's a losing record with both of those guys out of the lineup. Brodin is day-to-day. Spurgeon's out long-term. Those are probably their two best defensemen. Certainly defensively, it's their two best defensemen. And now all of a sudden the scoring is kind of petered out a little bit here for Minnesota in recent games. They've only scored 2 goals in each of the last 3 games. Pittsburgh off back-to-back wins against the Habs and the Jets. They very easily could have beat Florida. They were up in that game. They lost in a shootout 3-2, but they were right there with the Panthers in that game. So and look, the power play, which was the big issue for a large part of their struggles when they went through that 0 for 38 on the power play. Well, the power play's been better lately, no question. Last 3 games, they've scored 3 power play goals. Tristan Jarry is someone that has been a roller coaster ride to follow. He is someone that has had, a little hot stretch, and then all of a sudden he gets pulled and gives up 4 or 5 goals like he did against Arizona, like he did a couple of starts back against Toronto as well. But here he is the last 2 starts before the break and the first start after the break, giving up just 2 goals, and the Penguins 2-0 in those games. So, he's done a nice job. I'm taking Pittsburgh here. I just think when you look at it, their form is a little bit better than Minnesota right now, and they've dominated this series. Head-to-head, it's 9-1 in the last 10 meetings for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've won 4 straight here at Xcel Energy Center against the Wild. They've had no problem going to Minnesota, beating this team. So I know the market move toward Pittsburgh has been significant because when I got in on this price wasn't this high. But I'm going to stick with it. I agree with the move. I think Pittsburgh, there's signs that this team's ready to maybe go on a run. And I think some of it's schedule related to, they caught the Jets with the Jets struggling for the first time this year. Now they catch Minnesota struggling. I'd love to see Pittsburgh keep this going, when they start playing better teams. But right now, this is a beatable Minnesota team. You talk about Marc-Andre Fleury, and I know there's going to be people worried. Yeah, but he wants to beat Pittsburgh. Former Penguin, started his career there. Look at his numbers against Pittsburgh. They're not good. Marc-Andre Fleury, they aren't. He has given up 4 goals or more in 3 of the last 4 starts against the Penguins. So, absolutely, I think when you look at it, you can't just say, wow, we're going to take Minnesota tonight because Fleury wants to beat his old team. Fleury struggled when he's faced his old team. This team overall is struggling right now. I actually have 3 bets. I have Pittsburgh money line -124 at Bet Rivers, so we'll lock that in. I'm also on the over in this game. I cannot deny the series history with these 2 teams where it's been over City. We've seen 5-0-1 to the over in the last 7 head-to-head meetings. 5-1-1, I should say, to the over the last 7 meetings. In Minnesota, the scores were 6-4 Pittsburgh, 4-3 Pittsburgh, 7-4 Pittsburgh. One of those games in Minnesota did stay under, but 3 of the 4 did go over. And I think the Penguins offense has some better things ahead for them. I'm starting to see that offense start to play like they should. Like there's a lot of I don't trust their defense, and I don't trust Tristan Jarry every night. But this offense should be capable of scoring goals with what they have in this lineup. Hasn't always been that way, but I think we're starting to see, with the power play coming back to life, we're starting to see Pittsburgh look a little more like the team offensively they're capable of. So Penguins -124, going to take over 6 here, minus 104 at Pinnacle. But I could also see this, with this being an East versus West game, being a very competitive game. These are two teams that desperately need the points. I mean, Minnesota on the outside looking in the wild card race in the West, Pittsburgh on the outside looking in the wild card race in the East. So if this game is tied late, neither team's going to care that the other team gets a point. They're in their own conference races. So, and we have seen, especially in Minnesota, a couple of these games head-to-head go to OT. So this is a draw for me on the card, plus 340 at FanDuel.
You got it locked in, plus 340 on the draw. Over 6 minus 104 and Penguins minus 124. I guess what's kept me off of this here is that I don't know how much of an edge I have. I agree that there's an edge with the Penguins, but I was looking at this for a while last night. I was looking at the under. I was looking at this game for a while. How much of an edge is there? Because the only bet that I've made, I think there's a massive edge. And I think because I thought there was such a massive edge on the only bet I made in NHL that I didn't, push this on the Penguins.
And the Penguins can't let up either. That's another thing. With the Islanders winning last night against Tampa Bay, they need the points. They've got to keep pushing for victories right now if they're going to give themselves a chance.
I'm obviously, with all the cappers in the chat talking about the Pens, and you guys know my disdain for the Wild. I think they're a bad hockey team. But I was shocked at how they played.
There's something wrong with that mentality. How do you have the first period that you did against Chicago the other night, and then you get completely outplayed in the last? They were outplayed in the last two periods of that game by the Chicago Blackhawks, a team that can't put a puck in the ocean, a team that isn't in the playoff hunt like you are, and you're letting that team outwork you, win puck battles, win one-on-one battles all over the ice against you. That is a red flag. That's a bet against sight to me if I've ever seen one.
Honestly, I should have realized that they'd give Marc-Andre Fleury this opportunity, because I wouldn't. I'd go with the hot hand if I was coaching the Wild with everything on the line. I don't care that he's a character guy. I love the flower, but look, I need to win, and I got to put in the hot hand. And maybe the fact that maybe that's the final draw here, that Marc-Andre Fleury, because it would certainly get me off of the under. Yeah. And so I'm you
know what? It's just Pittsburgh's in better form. They've had a history of beating this Minnesota team like a drum. 9 of the last 10, 4 straight in Minnesota. So I'm rolling with it.
Our guy Nunya in the house, checking in from work. Respect. Yeah, and I would have to move on the Penguins -1 at this number. For me, that's how I would handle it. So I'm going to have to spend more time on it. But I agree with what you guys. I agree with your sentiment. It does feel like the Pens should take care of business here. Let's move on. Next one on the board, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. New York Rangers 32-16-3, 15-9-3 on the road. At the Chicago Blackhawks 14-35-2, 10-12-1 at home. United Center in Chicago, Illinois. We watch these games, and especially after the break, and you can develop real notions on how a team is going to be moving forward here in this stretch run. And I watched the Rangers Avalanche game, and I was really impressed with the Rangers. And look, they barely won the game. It wasn't that. It was how they played so strong, accountable, tight defensive hockey. And so I knew they were playing that way, and I knew Johnny Quick was hot. And so I moved on them against the Lightning with confidence on the -1 line. Now, I needed an empty netter to get that cash, but I got it at +142. And here against the Blackhawks, what I saw is there's 3 things why I think that the Rangers is on the puck line is such a great opportunity here. And we'll see if the market's moved. I mean, I don't see how it could move that much, but I bet this yesterday afternoon. Like, I bet this like after the show yesterday. First off, Shesterkin is going to be in net. We expect, right? Shesterkin's going to bounce back. Earl Sports said if they confirm quick, I'll take the under 5.5. If it's Igor, pass. Well, also being a Friday night kind of leans me away from the under, even though Chicago scored 3 goals in their last 5 games, and they've been shut out in 3 of those 5 games. But here are the spots. If it's Shesterkin, I truly believe that the Rangers are going to play hard for him. they know that he's probably questioning a lot of things, and he's lost the starting job to Quick. Also, from those 2 games that I saw in New York, it's clear they're taking a business-like approach to everything in front of them. And then it's Friday night with the Rangers in town, and the United Center will sell out. So they have a sold-out crowd. Sorry, I don't know if it just skipped there for a second, but we have a sold-out crowd. We have a Shesterkin in, so the Rangers are going to step up for him. And I think this is a smash and grab. I do not think that the Rangers are going to come in here lackadaisical because they're playing the Blackhawks. So I moved on the puck line, with confidence. I got it minus 105 yesterday, and I was so confident in it that I was like, you know what? I'd be fine if that's my only look on the board. But you guys have, really interested me with this look on the Penguins and the market moving so quickly towards them. Here with the Rangers, they're sitting at they opened up minus 291. They're now at minus 297. The Rangers need to win these hockey games. They're not in a point in the standings where they can relax. And when teams need to win, and I know it's going to be packed, and I know they're fighting for something, and here they're fighting for their goalie, I think that we can slam the Rangers here on the minus 1.5. Swiss said you can start doing a smash and grab play of the day. I like that, Swissy, I'll copy and paste that. Slatsy says Mrazek's been great. He's been even better than great. I mean, I don't know if there's a goalie playing better than him. I can't even believe I'm saying that either. It's just shocking. That poke check on Kaprizov, that's a goalie at his most confident. And goalies want rubber. You hear him talk about it all the time. They want 40 shots. They don't want 19. They want to be fully involved in the game. They don't want 3 or 4 minutes of standing there. Billy Frieda says Chicago team total under 2.5, very juicy at minus 175. I looked at what the cost would be to turn it into a 2. I don't need that. If this was final score is 5-2, would that surprise any of us? And the answer is no. So look, Rangers power play at 26.6%. Chicago penalty killing 76.7%. Chicago power play is at 12.3%, but without Connor Bedard, I believe it's around 4.8%. I don't have that number in front of me. The Rangers coming off their second straight win out of the All-Star break, their second straight quality defensive effort, and a 3-1 win at home over Tampa. They've allowed 2 goals combined in those 2 games. Now, of course, they were backstopped by Johnny Quick. They held a dangerous Lightning team to 18 shots on goal last out. And the Blackhawks are playing without Zaitsev and Connor Murphy. Another thing that I was telling you when we were riding these unders on the Blackhawks before the All-Star break is Anthony Beauvillier, Andreas Athanasiou, and Connor Bedard are out of the lineup. Those are their 3 worst defensive forwards. Their worst defensive forwards are all out, which is another reason why they're playing so accountable. I can understand why somebody would want the under in this, and I'm not going to go there. I'm going to keep shit clean. This is a Rangers comfortable victory here, and so I took them on the puck line, and I'm fine with the minus 105. Is what it is. Bobano, take it away. Rangers, Blackhawks.
Yeah, 6-1 for the Rangers in the last 7 versus Chicago. And I think all 6 Ranger victories, now actually 5 of the 6 were multi-goal victories, including all 3 in Chicago. Actually, the last 3 visits to the United Center for the New York Rangers, they won 6-3, 6-2, and 7-1. So, that bodes well for you, like in the puck line here in this game. I'm going to go with the team total instead. I do agree. I think this is a spot where the Rangers have to get the job done. I actually like the way they've played coming out of the All-Star break. I like where the focus is. I like where the intensity level is. Now, keep in mind, that was Jonathan Quick in net, and that's why I'm going this route. Team total, I don't have to give 2 shits about how Shesterkin plays, okay, because we know it's been a down year for him. He's had his struggles. He's been fighting the puck. His confidence has been hit a little bit as of late, and we know he's in net tonight. So that's why I think the team total is the better option, because as you know, with the team total, you just have to worry about your team putting the puck in the net. You don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about what the other team does. You don't have to worry about how much the other team scores, how much your own goaltender gives up. All you have to focus on is them getting to 4 goals, which is the beauty of the team total bet. And because I'm still a little leery of Shesterkin right now with the New York Rangers, that's the route I'm going to take. here in this game. And look, I have not bet against Chicago at home very often because, as I've said many times, the Chicago Blackhawks at home have been the ultimate workhorse team, and they have been, the effort's been great. The work ethic's been great. The absolute compete level defensively for this team all over the ice has been impressive. But at some point, you've got to pay off your efforts. And you've got to see some of these incredible defensive efforts result in a win here and there. And because they are just so offensively wretched and putrid and challenged right now to score goals, eventually the work ethic defensively, you just keep trying and playing good defensively and getting the saves from Mrazek for the most part. And yet it's still not resulting in wins. That wears away at a hockey team at some point. At some point, the dam might burst a little bit here for Chicago. Could it be tonight? It wouldn't totally shock me. But like I said, I'm a little worried about Shesterkin. That being said, if Shesterkin doesn't have a good game tonight against a team that can't put a puck in the net right now, when is it going to happen for him, at this point? So this is a matchup where, in theory, Shesterkin should have one of his best games in a long time because Chicago just can't score and can't do much offensively right now. So, but I'm worried about that enough that I'm going to go the team total route instead for the New York Rangers. And like I said, they've dominated this Blackhawks team, the Rangers. The last 3 visits to Chicago, they have scored 6 goals or more in all 3 of those games. In fact, in the 6 wins in the last 7 games against Chicago, the Rangers have scored at least 4 goals in 5 of those 6 wins. So that's why I feel comfortable taking the team total here, over 3.5. New York Rangers team total -120.
You got it. And that was another spot that I stared at for a long time. What I didn't want to have happen is
2-0 or 3-1, which could happen.
Or even 3-0.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to then break even type of situation or lose a little bit of vig if what I was so confident on was clearing the goal and a half. But I get it. And so interesting. So your thought with Shesterkin concerning you, I don't think I make this bet with Quicken Net because I are they really going to, I think they're going to play hard for Shesty, really want to build his confidence up. And then another thing with the home and road spot, I've not been fading the Blackhawks this year really at all because you don't get the right odds. This is like the Sharks last year where the only place we could fade them was at home. Yeah. This is the only place we can, I believe, fade the Blackhawks now is at home because on the road, they're going to be like, they're going up against like, -450s and -500s. But I hear you. And I like that you're correlating with me. So Bobano on the Rangers team total over 3.5 at -120. And I am on the Rangers puck line -105. That was -105 at Pinnacle. At the time, it was -110 at Bet365. And I don't know exactly where it is right there. So Earl Sportsbet says Hawks are being sneaky at home, 10-13 on the money line, 14-9 on the +1.5. Yeah, Earl. But with that, I mean, we're all watching what this offense looks like without Bedard, and it's not only that; it's they're playing so differently now because they know that they have no way of going goal for goal. So they have they have not been a worthy fade. This is the first time here after the break where I believe that they are, and we'll see how that bangs out. But I love it. Okay, so there we go. Let's rock into the final spot on the board in NHL before we get into college basketball. 10 p.m. Eastern, Edmonton Oilers 29-16-1, 13-10-0 on the road. At Anaheim Ducks 18-30-2, 8-17-1 at home at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Calvin Pickard is in net for the Oilers, 5-2-0, 2.34 goals against average, 9.15 save percentage, 1 shutout. He's been good. Johnny Gibson, not been that good. 10-19-1, 3.05 goals against average, 9.01 save percentage. Nobody wants him. Even the teams with the worst goaltending in the league, they just don't want to have that contract around their neck, which is too bad. Maybe we'll see in the offseason if the Ducks will add, cover half the salary or something like that. And we'll see at the trade deadline. I mean, at the trade deadline, it's possible. But and he probably does. I mean, it's like, why would the Devils not want him? And I imagine that the Ducks are going to try to boost the price up for him, but we'll see. So an interesting thing here is that the reason why I was very leery in trying to, send that message strongly about the Jets here is the same reason why I'm not on the Oilers to immediately bounce back. This is the streak killer, a break and then a road trip. And then did the Jets bounce right back? No, they looked worse. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but risk reward, you got the Oilers at minus 266 and the Rangers at minus 297. I think the Rangers are a much, much, much better spot than the Oilers here at minus 266. This opened up at minus 275, so even the market tells you a bit about it. The line's not moving towards the Oilers. And from a total side of things here, we are dealing with a 6.5. It's minus 110 to the under. This did hit 6 for a quick second, but that is the situation here. So, of course, the Oilers power play 26.8%. I mean, what last year was at 35%. It's wild watching it not succeed. But look at their penalty killing this year, 83.2%. This team is ready for a run in the playoffs, and hopefully they don't face Vegas because it looks like they're the kryptonite. Anaheim, 18% power play, 77.9% penalty killing. The 16-game winning streak snapped in 3-1 loss at Vegas in their first game off the All-Star break. This is a completely healthy group here for the Oilers. The Ducks coming off a 8-day break. They had won 3 of 4, and they were playing their best hockey of the season before the break. They're missing left wingers Alex Killorn and Max Jones. They're missing Trevor Zegras and defensive Pavel Mintyukov. Something for you guys in your hockey pools next year. Pick Zegras up with your last pick or second to last pick, or he's going to be completely forgotten, and he'll be a great spot in your hockey pool late. Take it away here for us, Bobano, Edmonton, Anaheim.
I really, really badly want to take Anaheim here. I really, really do. But I don't know if I can. I will not be betting Edmonton. I can tell you that. This is bubble burst theory written all over it. And I don't like backing teams after a long win streak has been snapped. I just won't do it. I don't do it. It's a kind of a really emotional letdown, if you will. And especially when you've had this kind of streak. 16 in a row. 1 win away from tying a record held by the Penguins for single-season win streak, 2 wins away from breaking that record. You come that close to breaking the streak, and all of a sudden, you don't. You fall short. And you fall short in a game where actually you didn't play that badly against Vegas. You got really bamboozled by Aiden Hill, who was absolutely outstanding. I thought Edmonton played well enough to win. They just couldn't finish their chances. But I definitely think this game is a dangerous game for Edmonton. I would like Anaheim more if they had played a game already since the break. That's the one thing that really concerns me. These teams with the long layoff, they haven't been playing well when they've played a team that's already played since the break. Look at Arizona last night against Vegas. Look at Tampa against the Rangers a couple of nights ago. These teams with the layoff against a team that's played since the break at least once, they haven't been faring well. So that's the big concern I have for Anaheim here tonight. But situationally, I want to take Anaheim. It's a great price. I think I'm going to pass, but I definitely lean Anaheim. I might sprinkle a few bucks on it, but and the one thing that does concern me too is Edmonton's just dummied this team over and over again. I mean, they've won 6 straight against the Ducks, including 7-2 and 8-2 earlier this season. 8-2 in Edmonton, 7-2 in Anaheim for the Oilers over the Ducks in the 2 previous regular season meetings. That being said, we've even seen teams like San Jose who get absolutely destroyed by a particular team actually avenge the loss next time out. I remember they lost to Vancouver like 10-1, and then San Jose played Vancouver again, and San Jose beat them the next time. So when you lose like that twice, 8-2, 7-2 to Edmonton 2 times earlier this year, if you're Anaheim tonight, even with the layoff, you wanted some payback, and you're going to have put your best foot forward. Will it be enough to win is the question, but for me, Anaheim or pass.
Yeah, I'm with you. When you're a bad hockey team, the break doesn't concern me. It can be kind of helpful. And with the Tampa and Arizona, I think that was more about Tampa integrating 3 defensemen, even though Hayden Fleury didn't play. So it really was 2 defensemen, and then Sergachev got hurt, but Sergachev, big piece. And then for the Coyotes, I've been saying this, we've been watching them now for, 4 games without core defensemen. And even if those defensemen aren't playing well, they're playing 20 minutes a game. It's just hard to take that out of your system. But they certainly tightened up in the second and third period. I love it. Okay, there's our 3-game breakdown. I love these Fridays with you, Bobano. So Bobano's on the Penguins money line, the over 6 at minus 104 in the draw. I am interested in the Penguins with you guys, and there's been this huge market move. I have to take the -1, which is fine. I'm so confident in this Rangers puck line that I don't want to dirty anything up. And, the need for success is paramount. I got the Rangers puck line minus 105 yesterday afternoon. I don't think it's moved that much or anything. Bobano's on the Rangers team total over 3.5. And then we both stayed off of the Oilers and the Ducks. All right, let's move on. Great to see you, BT.
Actually, no, put it on the tab, Jimmy. Plus 235. Let's do it with Anaheim. I'm in. I'm going to do it. Plus 235. I like the spot. I know it's a much inferior team, but I'm going to be just so pissed off if I don't use this as official. If I look at the end of the night and it's a 3-2 Anaheim or something, I'll be really bothered by it. So I'm not risking that. So I'm going to add it. Plus 235 Anaheim.
I like it. You know what you'll be doing between 10 and 1 in the morning now.
Same thing I always do, just watching a million games. Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, there's not a million tonight. No,
not tonight.
You'll be watching,
watching Oilers or whatever's on at that time. Yeah, basically San Jose State, Colorado State, and the Oiler game, and some NBA. That's it.
And we got Lakers action as well.
Yeah.
All right. And plus 236. Thank you, Billy Friedrich. We'll grab you that extra cent. There's our guy, Von Polo, fresh off his birthday. Hope you had a great night, Von Polo, my man. Respect.
No, Nick Earl, I don't want to split it with the first period. First period, I worried. First period and the long layoff for Anaheim. No, this is look at Arizona last night against Vegas. They were not ready in that first period, and Vegas ambushed them. No, this is definitely a spot because of the long layoff. I only want full game here with Anaheim.
When people say, look at Dumba's numbers, they're not going to miss him that much. No. Only look at how many minutes he's playing a game. Seriously, like don't say, "Oh, he's got one goal." I mean, who cares? 1 point in the last 20 games. No, he's playing 20 minutes a game, and now he's gone. Who's going to fill that up? Do they have the depth on defense to fill that up? There's certain stats that are more important than others. Time on the ice.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not. But all right. Okay. Let's move on to college basketball here. 3-game slate for us. So we can take our time and deep dive just like we did in NHL. Let's get to work. We start. Oh, and don't forget about our horse race for gold members only. $50 for gold members. You don't need to be here for the race. Jose, how many gold members do we have for $50 here today?
52, I believe.
52 for racing. I'm interested to hear. I'll go talk to Jeff what the number is for the boost in cash out, but there will be. So the more members we'll be able to add to that $50 prize pool. So $50 race every Wednesday and Friday, 2-minute race at the end of all of this. Jordan Norman out, says, got to take my daughter to get her nails done. Respect, man. Says, thanks for all the love. Really appreciate it. We appreciate you, Nordy. You're part of the fam, and we love you, man. So respect, and let's have a night. Let's have a weekend, dude. Let's get that cash. Here we go. 7 p.m. Eastern. We already heard from both Joseph Thompson and Billy Friedrich. So Joe T and B. Lee are both on the over 135 here in Dayton, VCU. Number 18th ranked Dayton Flyers, 19-3, 9-1 in the A10, and the VCU Rams, 15-8, 7-3 in the A10. We're in Richmond, Virginia for this one. And we have right now a 1-point spread. So we may get more information out of this. Why don't we just see what BetOnline's doing? And don't forget, if you need an account, go to our website, pubsportsradio.com, and we have our BetOnline link. If you use the link and put in Pub Sports, you will get a 100% bonus up to $1,000. And every other site that has it, it's Bitcoin only, not ours. Ours is anything goes. So this opened up at -1 for Dayton. Dayton got up to -2 at 3 p.m. yesterday, dropped to 1.5, back to 2. Now it's at 1. Now we've had no movement at all on the spread. But as Troy would say, focus on the money line at this number. So why don't we do that? We have Dayton sitting at -119. They opened up at -123. They got up to -126. So all of this is being within a 7-cent radius. Let's take a look at the total for this one. We've heard our guys on the over here. We have it sitting at 135.5 right now. This opened up at 134, got up to 135.5, dropped back to 135, and then back up to 135.5. Again, we have a 1.5 move here towards the over. Taking a look at the cash flow let's go to all markets so we can do the money line and the spread. On the spread, you have 40% of the tickets and 46% of the cash on VCU. On the money line, though, just 22% of the tickets and 36% of the cash. Then you have 39% of the tickets and 41% cash on the over. Perky says he's all over Dayton money line. Lou Chase says he loves the over and will tail if VCU plays up to their competition and has a very consistent offense. Dayton has to be good for some points. So let's roll here. We have Dayton coming in off their third straight loss, 94-79 at St. Joe's on Tuesday's 2.5-point favorites. They shot 56.9% from the field and 54.5% from three. Now, we know this is a good shooting team, but that makes me a little nervous. Now they did it on the road, so why wouldn't they do it again here on the road? I mean, it's not like they did it at home and now they're heading out on the road. So that's all fair, but that's a really impressive shooting performance against a really good St. Joe's team. VCU comes in off their second straight win, but it's their 7th in 8 games, 75-60 at Fordham. They were only 4.5-point favorites, and they dominated Fordham. We have this as well in the next game we're going to talk about when we head over to Mountain West, but we have two good teams playing good basketball. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Dayton Flyers, VCU Rams.
Yeah, it's a great game. There's no doubt. It's an absolutely terrific game. There's two very good teams going at it head-to-head here in this matchup. Should be fun to watch. It's definitely the game of the night. It's not that we have a lot to choose from, but it's definitely the game of the night here in college basketball here in this one. I like how this sets up for Dayton. I think Dayton's the better of these two teams, quite honestly. Anthony Grant's done a great job with this team. What I like is that they've got scoring inside, they've got scoring outside, they rebound the basketball, they have some quality big men, they're an excellent defensive team. I mean, there's very few holes right now in this Dayton team. Deron Holmes, absolutely phenomenal. Nate Santos as well, leading the way for this Flyers group. Definitely like what I'm seeing from them here. Now, it's not easy to go to VCU and win. There's no question. It's a very good home court. It's going to be probably a good environment here on a Friday night. But you look at Dayton here historically versus this team, they've gone to the VCU 2 in a row, and they've won these games. And both of those outright as an underdog, actually. 2 years ago, they won 82-52 by 30 in this building. And then last year, they won 62-58 here in this game against the VCU Rams. So, and to put the icing on the cake too is I just think Dayton's just the better team. They've shown that they are road worthy of going on the road and winning. And I think the thing that puts this over the top for me is that Dayton got knocked out of they lost in the Atlantic 10 tournament championship game in March against VCU. Dayton had a lead at halftime. VCU outscored them 38-20 in the second half. They ended up winning the A10 tournament, getting the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. And if I'm not mistaken, Dayton needed to win that game to get into the NCAA tournament, if I recall correctly. I'm just going to double check. Yes, they had to steal a bid, Dayton. They had to win that A10 tournament championship game to get into the NCAA tournament. That was their only path to get in. VCU denied them by winning that A10 tournament, and this is the first meeting since then. Don't think Dayton hasn't forgotten. I like Dayton. They're the better team. They're going to want to beat this team. Not the VCU won't, but that extra little chip on their shoulder makes the difference, in my opinion. I think they're the better team. They've shown they can go on the road, travel, and win. They've gone to VCU 2 in a row the last 2 years and won. I'll look to Dayton here in this game against VCU, and I'll just go money line here. Obviously, we're talking about a small favorite, so just money line here for me, Dayton -110 at PointsBet.
We have a question here, and I'll lock that in from Troy for you. How similar is Dayton to the Bonnies in terms of style?
Yeah, St. Bonaventure, you look at them, it's a good defensive team. The difference with them is they're not as good on the road. They're just not. Dayton can travel. Dayton brings their defense with them. I think Dayton shoots the ball usually a lot better on the road. I mean, St. Bonaventure, they can't bring what they're able to do in that gym there in New York, Olean, New York, and bring it with them on the road consistently. I think that's the biggest difference here. They're both methodical as far as pace is concerned. But I think Dayton, they're just a better, more well-rounded offensive team. I think they've got a little more size. I definitely think they're a better defensive team, and more importantly, they can go on the road and win. And St. Bonaventure hasn't always been able to prove that. So that's the difference, in my opinion.
352nd in terms of pace, 65.9 possessions a game for the Dayton Flyers. So let me ask you this. You got Dayton, and sorry, I was researching something. What was the line you got on Dayton?
The line on Dayton, about -110.
minus
Money
110.
line. Yep. Yep.
We all know that you love your overs. Why are you not on this over? Is it because of the playoff type feel? Is it because of the intensity between these two rivals?
Yeah, exactly. And to be real, both of these, well, Dayton for the longest time had been an under. I'll say this, Dayton now, all of a sudden, 3 of the last 4 games have gone over the total. I think their offense is getting better. That's why. But VCU, I mean, they've played 4 straight unders. It has, and remember that Richmond game, it had that similar feel, right? VCU and Richmond, they played last Saturday? Huge game in the A10. Richmond's a very good team. And man, it was just a rock fight. It was just a defensive war between VCU and Richmond. What do we have? 115 points in that game, 63 to 52. Total was 136 in that game. It was right around where this total is. So that's the concern I have here with the over is that, VCU can defend when they're on their game. We know Dayton's a very good defensive team. The last time we saw a big showdown in this conference, in this gym, we saw 115 points, and it was just a struggle to find a clean look offensively on both sides. So that's why I'm not interested in an over here personally. I'm not betting under either, but I don't want the over.
Bobano in on Dayton money line, and again, Billy Friedrich and Joe T both on the over 135. Let's roll. And Caddy saying both are top 10 and 3-point percentage as well. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board, 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, we've heard FAP win moving on San Diego State money line. We also heard Ron Crawford moving on the Nevada Wolfpack, and that is the spreadsheet play of the day for our guy, Ron Crawford. It's Ron Crawford going up against the Vat of Lube in FAP win. The chosen one also gave us the San Diego State Nevada under 140.5 from a total side of things. And there he is in the chat, dropping that right there. Let's go. We're the Lawler Event Center in Reno, Nevada. San Diego State comes in off their second straight win and third in 4 games. Both teams are coming in off their second straight win and third in 4 games. Both teams are playing very well. San Diego State took out Air Force 77-64 at Air Force on Tuesday's 9.5-point favorites. But that doesn't tell the story. They shot 50% from 3. They were up 45-20 at halftime. They dominated and then took their foot off the gas. Nevada comes in off their second straight win and third in 4 games, 77-63 at Utah State on Tuesday. And I have them as 5.5-point dogs there. I wonder if, I guess they were because it was at Utah State. I got to double check that here. I have that in my notes. But let's take a look at the situation here. We heard chosen one on the under. This is still at 140.5 at Bet Online. It is at 140 at other spots. This opened up at 140.5, got up to 141.5, and has dropped a point. So it's right back where it started. From a point spread situation here, we are dealing with a Nevada -2. This opened up as a pick'em. That's a big move. And this got up to 2.5 before there was a buyback 16 minutes ago to 2. That's a 2-point move towards the Wolfpack. Interesting. Now, Nevada has 77% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on them. From the money line standpoint, they have 56% of the tickets and 87% of the cash on them. So no matter where you look, the big bets are coming in on the Wolfpack, and the market has moved it 2 points. From a total side of things, there's 47% of the tickets on chosen ones under and 44% of the cash. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Second game on the board, Aztecs, Wolfpack.
Wow, this is interesting. I think San Diego State's the better team, but these road performances for Brian Dutcher's team worry me. I mean, they just they have not beaten anybody good in this conference since conference play started on the road. They haven't. You can't count Air Force as any good. You can't count San Jose State as any good. And that San Jose State win, I should point out, 10-point favorite. They won by 3 on the road. Air Force last game was the one where they controlled the flow. They controlled the game. 9.5-point favorite. They won. But on the other road games against 3 of the best teams in the conference, New Mexico, they lose by 18. Boise State, they lose by 1, and they don't cover there. And at Colorado State, they lose by 8 as a 2.5-point dog. So there is some concern that I have with San Diego State going on the road and getting the job done. Now, I will say this. I don't think this Nevada team is as good as New Mexico. I don't think this Nevada team is as good as Boise State, and I don't think this Nevada team is as good as Colorado State. I don't think they're at that level. They're certainly better than San Jose State and Air Force. And look, Nevada, I can't explain it. I thought this team was coming apart, falling apart at the seams. Losses to Boise, at San Diego State and Viejas earlier this season by 12, losing as 7-point road favorites at Wyoming. At that point in the season, I'm worried about Steve Alford's job security, quite honestly, because the season was falling apart for Nevada. Since then, they've turned things around. I mean, other than a wretched game at New Mexico, they lost by 34, but they beat Colorado State, a very good team at home, 77-64. They beat San Jose State by 30. And then the last game is what caught my attention. You go on the road, you beat a pretty good Utah State team in a tough place to play. And not only that, but you win wire to wire, and you beat them down, and you win in blowout fashion wire to wire. I mean, they led that game start to finish, and they didn't even let Utah State back into the game. 77-63. They put together, really in the 3 wins, 3 of their better defensive performances, for a team that hasn't always been great at that end of the court. So Nevada is at least now, and they're in revenge because they lost to San Diego State earlier this year. It's a great spot for Nevada. It really, really is. But I still think San Diego State, you're getting the better team at a plus number here. So I'm conflicted. I would lean Nevada. I would take Nevada before I take San Diego State here in this game. But I don't know. I think San Diego State's still a better squad than Nevada. They're going to have to prove it to me one more time. San Diego State's also owned this team, really. 9 of the last 10 meetings won by this Aztecs team over the Wolfpack. It's been a pretty lopsided series history. That being said, the one win was last year here in Reno. Nevada got the job done 75-66. Lean Nevada, but I don't think I'd play it.
And Nevada was 5.5-point dogs against Utah State, and shut them down. 39.3% from the field, 23.8% from 3. Utah State, the Aggies shot, and they were ranked 22nd. That
one of those deals where if Nevada's a pick 'em or Nevada's a slight dog at home, I'm probably on them. 2.5 and laying, like a -140 money line type of price now. I don't know if I can do it.
And talk to us about the total here. Chosen one on the under. These lines are tight for these big games. What do you think of this total?
So again, I value current form above all else. And right now, Nevada to me is morphing into more of an under team. They've slowed down the pace just a little bit. Their defense has improved quite a bit. And yet here's San Diego State, kind of at the other end of the spectrum where the offense is suddenly lighting it up and can't be stopped. And they've gone over in 4 straight games. So it's a very, very tricky total. 3 of the last 4 meetings have gone over the total, but the previous meeting this year was 71-59 Aztecs and stayed way under 138.5. I mean, it was cruising under from start to finish. So I'd probably lean under, but I don't have a strong feel total either way.
Let's roll on to the final spot on the board here, and let's let our guy Billy Brisbane lead us into it. He's on the San Jose State, Colorado State over 143.5. We're in Fort Collins, Colorado for this one. The Colorado State Rams just 6-4 in conference. Mountain West is good, but
an excellent conference. This is as good as it's been. This conference, it's fantastic. There's legitimately 5, you could even say maybe even 6 teams that could be tournament bound out of this conference.
God, we're all going to be together for that in San Antonio. Let's take a look at this one. San Jose State Spartans 8-15, just 1-9 in conference. They're playing really bad basketball. They've lost 6 straight. They've lost 9 of 10. They're coming off a 69-57 loss at home to Fresno State on Tuesday. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have a move towards San Jose State. Colorado State opened up a -17. That lasted for over 12 hours. So this move has happened this morning. The first move was around 1:15 this morning. It was a half-point move. Then at 8:30 this morning, there was a full-point move from 16.5 to 15.5. So we have a 1.5-point move towards the Spartans. Then from a total side of things here, we have a 143.5. This opened up at 144. It dropped to 143. Again, this first move to the under did happen, within an hour. It was just a half-point move. But then it was this morning where there was another half-point move. So very slight move to the under. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. You have 54% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on San Jose State. Then you have 41% of the tickets and 75% of cash on the over. Yet this has dropped a little bit. So Colorado State comes in off their third straight win, 75-62 at home versus Boise State on Tuesday as 5.5-point favorites. And we talk about this. We talked about it on the show yesterday as well. Mikey Money was talking about it because Colorado State pulled away from a good Boise State team despite shooting 26.7% from three. That's when you see a really good team. It's when they're pulling away from their opponent and they're not shooting very well. They're just winning every other facet of the basketball game. Take it away for us here, Bobano, San Jose State Spartans at the Colorado State Rams.
Yeah, we couldn't have even a 3-game college basketball slate without me being on one over here on the card tonight. So this is that over. I do like it here with San Jose State, Colorado State. Looks like the best number is over 142.5 minus 115 at BetMGM. So that is what we will lock in. Now, I think we'll see points. The one thing about Colorado State offensively that concerns me is they've got the huge game coming up with San Diego State, but that's not till next week. So, and they've already beaten San Diego State at home. So, it's one. I think when you've already beaten the team or you haven't played them yet, it's a bigger look ahead spot than this one would be. So I don't think that's going to impact them. And really, I don't think that's going to make San Jose State's defense magically any better. It's awful. It is awful. Just look at their last game. Fresno can't put a ball in the hoop in the ocean on the best of days, and they still scored 69 points against this wretched San Jose State defense. Before that, San Jose State gives up 90 points to Nevada, 82 to Utah State, 77 to UNLV, 95 to New Mexico, 85 to Fresno State. I mean, they are just not stopping anything right now at the defensive end of the court, San Jose State. So going here to Fort Collins, you would expect Colorado State to be able to hang a big number here on this San Jose State team. That's fully what I expect here in this game. But on the flip side, you look at the San Jose State Spartans, and while they've lost 6 in a row, 0-6 straight up, 0-5-1 against the spread, their offense has certainly been the better of the two. And it's funny because we've even seen some games where, they've been able to go on the road and they've actually been able to at times even score a little bit more and be a little more efficient than they've been at home in some of these games. And if you look at Colorado State too, this is not a team that's been totally shutting things down defensively either until the Boise game. The Boise game was probably the best defensive showing I've seen from the Rams all year, but defensively they have not been great this season, Colorado State. They've had some ups and downs. Now, they've been better lately, but a lot of it has been pulled through because of the score. Like the San Diego State win, the offense kind of carried it. Last 2 games were better at the offensive end, 61-62. And in theory, they could shut down San Jose State here. But coming off a huge win like that, you're playing San Diego State next game. It feels like a spot for Colorado State to play down defensively a little bit. I think they will kind of do that here in this game. And by the way, last year when these teams played, and that's the concern about laying the number here with the Spartans with the Rams, I should say, for as bad as the Spartans have been, is that last year Colorado State did not cover against this team. 78-70 here in Fort Collins last year. But more importantly, the game had 148 points and it went over the total. I think we see something similar here, something in the high 140s, might even crack 150. If San Jose State in particular has a little bit much better than average offensive night. So over 142.5 for me.
You got it, over 142.5. At this point, I really don't feel like I have an edge I can confidently move on. I'll tell you though, I think the Dayton VCU is going to give us live opportunities here. Especially if VCU can go down a bunch, I think they can scrap back in it. Also, if I see you guys on the over, Billy and Joe T, if this is a really slow start, I might look to get in live. So all this information will help my live betting for this. And then I'm off, though. Bobano on Dayton -110. For the 8 p.m. spot, we have the spreadsheet play today on Nevada. FAP win on San Diego State, and chosen one on the under. Bobano stayed off that one. And Bobano's on the over 142.5 in San Jose State, Colorado State. So there we go. That is college basketball. By the way, Rob Free asking if anybody bets NCAA hockey in the chat. We had Dunkaroo 2828 talking about NCAA hockey futures on Minnesota at plus 1100. But if anybody else, let Rob know in our chat. All right, let's move on to NBA. I'm excited about this. Oh, by the way, that total just went up to 144.5 on FanDuel as well. So I wonder if that's popping all over the place here.
Let me just check here. Yeah, let me just take a look. See, is that total going up everywhere, or was that just FanDuel? I haven't seen anything major yet, but we'll keep.
No, I hadn't seen it either. And Coin saying that all the money on the over, and he sees it 142.5 at BetMGM. So you'll get a chance. Possibly here. Justin McKelvey also on Colorado State, team total over 79.5. DC Capper leaning to the under. All right, let's roll on to NBA. And Troy Torrance says that his database is popping today in the association. So let's break it down and see what's available. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. We got Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. It's the Philadelphia 76ers and Smoking Tree on the other side with the Atlanta Hawks -2.5. So it's easy fucking money. Hawks 22-29, 10-15 on the road. Philadelphia 76ers 30-20, 17-9 at home at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's get into the line history here for this one and the cash flow. Set the table. And also, Bobano, it is great to see you here, delivering NBA here on the channel. It's been too long. First off, we're going to go back to Pinnacle openers. We have Atlanta -2.5. They opened up at 4. So this is a 1.5 move to the Philadelphia 76ers. Hard not to be, alert or conscious of that legit move to a team that's not been playing well. We have the total at 246. This opened up at 243.5 and is now up to 246.5. A 3-point move towards the over, a real big move towards that over. Let's get into where the cash lies here over at the Action Network. We have 65% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Philadelphia 76ers. From a total standpoint, 54% of the tickets and just 33% of the cash on the over, and yet it's steaming towards that over. Billy Briz says, low-key, I think the Sixers are tanking because if Maxey makes NBA first or second team, they would have to pay him the super max. And there's our guy, Saturated, running dumb hot, white hot, sick hot. Another huge 4-figure night for our guy, Saturated. Love to see it, Saturated, my guy. So Atlanta right now, over the last 5 games, playing at the fastest pace in the NBA. 104.72 possessions a game. I was on the under in the Nuggets-Lakers game, and there's nothing more enjoyable being on an under than watching a team take the full time on the shot clock like the Nuggets do. The Nuggets playing at a pace of like 93 or 94 possessions a game. You saw it in that game. Like there was just even if that game went to overtime, it wasn't necessarily going to hit the over. And Atlanta playing fast, the exact opposite, 104.72 possessions a game. And over that stretch, they're hitting 49.5% from the field and 39% from 3. They're playing well. Philadelphia, on the other hand, has not looked good. Also, Maxey was dealing with the sickness that he's gotten over now. Philadelphia 1-4 over their past 5, playing at 13th fastest pace, 99.3 possessions a game, 45.3% from the field and 36.2% from 3. There's Sammy coming on Pelicans money line. I was staring at that, and I can't wait to talk about that game. But Justin McKelvey got 3.5 last night during the live show on the 76ers plus 3.5. So let's set this up. Hawks come in off their second straight loss, 125-117 at the Celtics on Wednesday. They're on the first of a back-to-back. They play at home versus the Rockets tomorrow night. Against the Celtics, Sadiq Bey went for 25. Trae Young went for 20 and 10, and he's now being announced as an all-star replacement. Scotty Barnes as well. So Young and Scotty Barnes are replacing Embiid and Julius Randle. Happy for Scotty. Jalen Johnson went for 19 and 15, and Okongwu went for 19 and 10. Bogdanovic scored 12, and DeAndre Hunter had 10. That's the second straight game they played without Clint Capella. He's got a strained muscle in his left hip. I have RotoWire up here. So I was going over what the hell was going to happen with Zion and JV. So here on RotoWire, right now, Capella out. So no worries about Capella. He will be out for tonight. Sixers coming off their third straight loss, 127-104 at home versus the Warriors. Ricky Council scored a career high 17 points. Kenyon Martin Jr. went for 15. Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey. I mean, they looked awful. Should be a bounce back spot for them. This is the first of a back-to-back. They play at Washington tomorrow. This team is 4-12 now without Joel Embiid. Surgery on the lateral meniscus in his left knee on Tuesday. Be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So they've lost 3 straight. They've lost 7 of 8, and Buddy Hield comes in to help shooting. They made a lot of trades. They picked first off, they traded House to the Pistons. They moved Beverly to the Bucks for campaign in a 2027 second rounder. They got Buddy for Furkan Korkmaz and Morris, along with 3 second-round picks in cash. Take it away for us here. Is this a bounce-back spot for the Philadelphia 76ers at home after a complete no-show against the Warriors?
Not with my money. That's for damn sure. I'm not taking Philly. Not a chance. This team's been awful without Joel Embiid. They miss him badly. And look, as of course, he's the team. You know, he is the team. And without him, you know, it's been abysmal for this team. Now, the one thing that I worry about here is taking Atlanta as a road favorite is not something I'm rushing to do either. And it's an Atlanta team that I just don't think is very good. They don't play defense consistently. But the one thing they can do here is they have some matchup advantages, assuming that DeJounte Murray and Trae Young are both in. And we know Trae Young should play, and it looks like Murray's questionable. And this is the first of a back-to-back for Atlanta. But I would expect him to, move quite a bit to play tonight. In this first game of the back-to-back. I'd expect him to play. If you had asked me right now, I think DeJounte will play. It looks like DeAndre Hunter is going to be back here as well. He's missed. Actually, he's been back the last few games, but he's been banged up. It looks like he's going to play. Capella's still out for the Atlanta Hawks tonight in this one. But I don't know if I trust Atlanta enough. I don't want Philly, but I don't know if I trust Atlanta enough. This is not a team that, we think of as, let's lay points with them on the road with a 10-15 straight up, 8-16 against the spread road record. That being said, they should be able to do some damage here because there's no rim protection with Embiid out for this Philly team. Yes, they bring in Buddy Hield, but he's not much of a defender. He'll help them offensively and make threes for them. But, I think when you look at this, there's a couple of things I want to look at here in this game. I'm going to look, instead of Atlanta laying the points, I'm going to look at the team total. I don't always trust this team defensively. I just don't. I mean, Atlanta turns it on and off like a water tap at that end of the court. We see it over and over again. But I like their team total here. It's 124.5 minus 102. I will take that. I also like the full game over. I think Hield makes them better offensively. He's a defensive liability, though. And when you look at this Atlanta team, and you look at any team playing the Sixers right now, without Embiid, there's an easy path to the rim for this team. I think you see it again tonight. I like over 245.5 here, minus 115 at BetMGM. And there is a prop that I like in this game. They have not really paid attention to this. And I think the matchup dictates that this is a good bet too, because of the lack of interior defense and rim protection that Philly has right now. And that's Onyeka Okongwu, over 12.5 points, plus 100 at BetMGM. So a very rare player prop for me in this game. I don't think they're taking into account the way this guy has played at the starting 5 spot, the center spot, in the absence of Capella. This guy scored 19 against Boston, 18 against the Clippers, 22 against Golden State, 15 against Phoenix. He's been going over this number repeatedly. 4 straight games, he's gone at over 12.5 points. 15, 22, 18, and 19 in the last 4 games for Okongwu. And now you're playing a Philly team with lacking defense around the rim. So there should be some easy scoring opportunities for him tonight, especially when you've got a great passing, facilitating point guard like Trae Young who can get you the ball. So I think it's a really good prop. The adjustment hasn't been enough yet for him. So we'll go with Onyeka Okongwu here, over 12.5 points as well.
Let's go over just some notes for me. Okongwu, the juice on the over 12.5, was that
plus 100 at BetMGM? Yeah,
plus 100. And Atlanta team total over 124.5, was that what juice?
Minus 102.
Minus 102. Then you got the full game over 245.5, minus 115.
This
is a, for me, one of the spots that's been working really well for me in college basketball and NBA. It's the bounce back for a team at home, going up against a team that's playing very well but struggles in the situation, which is a road situation. So I agree with the market move towards the 76ers, and hearing, just like Julio was saying, the 76ers hilarious, horrible without Embiid, Hawks covering spread last 4 out of 5 games. That when I see that kind of stuff, I love it. Look, nobody wanted. We were on Michigan, and everybody was on Wisconsin. And
I honestly could see this being 128, 126 for Philly. I'm happy with that. If that's the result, Philly wins a high-scoring game, but my team total hits on Atlanta, and the game goes over. That's why I'm taking this approach. I don't trust Atlanta's defense laying the number. It's just what I talked about in hockey with the Rangers earlier. I don't want to worry about defense with some of these teams. I just want to worry about offensively. Atlanta should feast in theory tonight. Without Embiid, the matchups are all over the place in their favor with the ball in their possession tonight in this game. So that's why I go team total, because I don't trust them defensively night to night.
But and also I think, even though the Hawks have 2 straight losses, they played the Celtics really tough. I think it's fair to say
that's the thing too. It's a bounce back spot for Atlanta too. It's not just for Philly. I mean, Atlanta's coming in off a loss too. So
but they played great.
Yeah,
I don't think it's about. I mean, they were double-digit dogs. They were in that game till 2. I don't think this is a bounce back spot. I think this is a sell Atlanta high, buy the Sixers without Embiid low at home. And so look, and this could blow up my face. I get it. With the way the Sixers have been playing, but this is a must bet now for me on the Sixers here. So let's roll on. So I'm going to be with Ron Crawford on spreadsheet play of the day. I'm going to be against, unfortunately, Smoking Tree, who says Hawks minus 2.5 is easy money. But I really do believe that that this is one of those just kind of perfect opportunities here. Okay, so we roll on to game 2 of a 6-game NBA card, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Washington Wizards 9-41, 6-19 on the road at the Boston Celtics 39-12, 24-3 at home. We're at TD Garden in Boston. Washington 1-4 over their past 5, playing at the 5th fastest pace in the league, 101.9 possessions a game. Boston 4-1, playing at the 9th fastest pace in the league, 100.5 possessions a game. The Wizards 46.9% from the field, 31% from 3. Boston here 49.5% from the field and 37.4% from 3. Julio Vila saying 76ers getting 3.5 for a reason. They home line telling you everything. Yeah, I agree. It's telling you everything. It's gone from 4 to 2.5. I think there's a lot of information to gather that the Sixers are live. So I agree with that with a different angle. But, Julio, it's all good. Like, this is part of the fun. We don't always have to agree on things. I mean, it's boring. So, look, you can like one side, I can like the other, and it's just, let's go. And look, we have Scotty Rock saying that Hawks are easy money, and then you have a spreadsheet play today, on the Sixers. I mean, it's just part of the game, man. Doesn't need to bother anybody. I mean, you can keep firing off reasons why you're going to be right. That's part of the fun too. So it's all good. 76ers last 5 games have been horrible. And Julio Vila, were you on Wisconsin against Michigan? Because Michigan had been absolutely atrocious for 5 straight games. And what did they do? Won outright and covered easily. It's part of the fun. All right, let's roll here into the line history here for this spot. Wizards, Celtics. We have this total sitting at 235.5. This opened up at 235. It got up to 236.5, and right now it's at 235.5. It's juiced pretty heavy to the under, so there's really not much of a difference in the total from where it started and where it is now. Let's get into the spread here with this one. Sitting here with a 17. Celtics are 17-point favorites. This opened up at 17, went to 16.5 for a bit, and came back to 17. 7 cents of movement towards the Boston Celtics. Let's get into the cash flow here for this spot. We have 68% of tickets and 51% of cash on the Celtics. So Wizards are 32-49, 72% of tickets and 91% cash on the over, and it's not moving. So here we go. Wizards coming off their 4th straight loss, 114-106 at home versus the Cavaliers on Wednesday. I think that was more about the Cavaliers no-show rather than the Wizards playing very well. Kuzma did play. He had missed the loss to Phoenix with a shoulder injury. He went for 28 points, 4 boards, 2 assists. Corey Kispert put up 23 and 7 off the bench. And Jordan Poole, 0 for 5 from the field and fouled out. First scoreless game since 2021. And then they moved Daniel Gafford, who's good, man. Gaff is good. They bring back Rashawn Holmes in draft compensation. This is the first of a back-to-back. They play at home versus the Sixers tomorrow night. Wizards have lost 10 of their past 12. The Celtics, though, come in off their second straight win, 125-117 at home versus the Hawks on Wednesday. This is the final game of a 7-game homestand, not a spot I particularly want to back a team. They're just 4-2 on this homestand, but KP Porzingis went for 31. Derek White looked so good, man. So what a complete guard he is. 21 points, 7 assists, 6 boards. Tatum added 20 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. Horford went for 14 points, 8 boards, 8 assists. And they play without Drew Holiday, and you could see that out there. Their defense was lacking at times, but and they bring in Xavier Tillman. I think it's a really good pickup for them. Really good pickup for them. So Celtics got stronger. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Wizards, Celtics.
You know what? This is that's actually a big number for Boston. And they haven't been covering big numbers lately. I mean, you look at it, they're 1-5 ATS their last 6 games. The only point spread cover was against that decimated Memphis squad, 131-91. You look at the recent wins, 6-point non-cover against New Orleans, 5-point win non-cover against Indiana. The loss to the Lakers, where I think they just fell into that trap. Hey, it's going to be easy with no LeBron and AD that night, and they ended up losing 114-105. They just didn't have the mentality in that game. And then against Atlanta, 11.5-point favorites, they win by 8. They play Miami on Sunday, so this is not a back-to-back. It is for Washington. They play in Philadelphia at home tomorrow. But you look at this Washington team, they've been at times feisty. The question is, you have to pick the right night where they are feisty. They are competitive, because they've also had some ugly games. Phoenix goes in and drills them by 28. They lose by 16 to the Clippers. Those are really good teams, though. Boston should be a really good team. I'm not saying they aren't, but you look at it, Miami, they lost by 8, competitive, 8-point loss to a very good Cleveland team the other night. So this Washington team's been, and the Washington Wizards have been a little bit better defensively finally. It's finally starting to show that, at least defensively, they're not the absolute dreck that they were, early in the season, where they were just not stopping anybody at this point in time. So, I look at this game here, it's just way too many points for me with Boston. I would look at maybe the Washington side here in this game. The one concern I would have, though, is I look back at this history here, especially with the games at TD Garden. 144-102, 112-94, 130-121. That was actually the game that was competitive last year. There was one of the recent meetings in Boston that's been pretty close between these two teams. But and then earlier this year, they only played once. It was in Washington. It was 126-107 in that game. So this is a tricky one for me. I lean Washington, but I don't think it's enough for me to make it official, so I'm going to pass on it.
I'm going to pass on this as well. We see, I was a little surprised by all the comments from the Celtics players after the Hawks game, because they were all really positive about how well they played, how they're moving the ball so well offensively. Yeah. It wasn't about how, we let down defensively. We let a bad road team in the, it was all positive. If it was like we did not play up to our level, we got, if they were talking like that, I would think, oh, this could be another 40-point victory. This does not appeal to me as well. So let's roll past this one. This is Wizards Celtics. Next up for us, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and we come to the NBA best bet from BJ on the Houston Rockets. It's too bad this is not Fred VanVleet coming home. And then, in this game, you have to kind of recalibrate it with Amen Thompson at point guard. And that's a big difference. That's a big difference here. And the more I sat with the Kelly Olynyk trade, I absolutely love it. It's not even an X's and O's thing. Let's just get players who want to play in the city. That's all. Let's just get players who want to be there. It's a tricky part of the Raptors' history is that a lot of players don't want to be here. So let's find the players that do want to be here and start, and he's always looked good off the bench. Actually, side note, our guy Son Dizzle used to go up against Kelly Olynyk they both played very high level basketball in British Columbia, and they used to have battles. Son Dizzle and Kelly Olynyk. But let's go here. Rockets 23-27, 5-18 on the road at Toronto Raptors 18-33, 10-13 at home. We're at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. These Rockets 2-3 over their past 5. Same with the Raptors, but they're playing very differently. And I think the idea with the Raptors is Raptors don't really know how they're playing. That's the problem. Are we going to sit here and say, oh, look, they're going to slow the pace down. They're going to shoot at a higher level? Because that's sort of what they've been doing. They're now over the last 5 games playing at the 25th fastest pace in the league, 97.15 possessions a game. Houston playing at the 3rd fastest pace. Can you even trust that, though, now that Van Fleet is going to be at? So the pace I don't think is helpful here. But we can't say that Toronto's shooting the ball very well. 41% from 3 over the last 5 games. Is that something that we can count on? Rockets aren't, 34.9% from 3. And you'd have to think that number would drop again without Van Fleet in the lineup. I'm a little surprised there's as much love for if BJ. I'd love it if he's still in the chat, because I'm a little surprised that there's much love for the Rockets without Van Fleet. So let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow and then hand it over to Bobano. So here we go. We have Toronto as a 2-point favorite. They opened up as a 2-point favorite. They were a 2.5-point favorite for a while and then back to 2. So there's been a 2-cent move towards the Raptors at this number. From a total side of things here, we are sitting at a 233.5. This opened up at 233. It's gone up a 0.5 point. Then from a cash flow standpoint here, you have 37% of tickets and 63% of the cash on the Raptors. And I don't know who in their right mind would want to back the Raptors. But the Rockets are such a pitiful road team, and now they don't have their leader on the floor. BJ, I just want to know, I guess, could you touch on Amen Thompson? I guess you must have a big belief in him as a point guard to be able to win a basketball game on the road. We all wanted Van Fleet to come back in a uniform and play in the arena. It's nice to have him here. But one thing about the Raptors is we're going to sell out Scotiabank every game. I find the Raptors very appealing, and it's uncomfortable for me to see BJ on the Rockets here. So let's break this down a little more. But 38% of tickets, 63% of the cash on the Raptors. Then 57% tickets, 59% cash on the under. So here we go. Rockets coming off their second straight loss, 132-129. The Pacers on Tuesday. It was, I guess looking at it on Tuesday, they played well. Watching the Pacers play the Warriors and looking how disjointed they are after the trades. I mean, is it really that good? Jalen Green goes for 30, Dylan Brooks 23, and then Amen Thompson 13 points, 13 boards, 6 assists, and 3 block shots. He can do a lot of things on the floor. And this is the first of a road back-to-back, right? The Rockets play at Atlanta tomorrow night. The Raptors are also on the first of a back-to-back, but they don't travel anywhere. They host Cleveland tomorrow night. So RJ Barrett came back. Look, he's been really tough to watch, but he came back and he looked better. He'd missed a game with knee injury management, 23.6 boards and 5 assists. So he's probably going to play just one of these 2 games. And then is Olynyk going to be around? I don't know. Do you know if he's going to be around? Is he going to be dressed tonight, Bobano? I'd be very interested in that. And it's clear that there's a character issue with Schroeder. It's too bad to see Thad Young leave as well. I kind of like him. So take it away here for us, Bobano, because I'm a little surprised that there's as much love for the Rockets without Van Fleet out there. A little surprised. So take it away. What's your thoughts?
Well, is it love for the Rockets, or is it just disgust and no respect for the Raptors right now? You have to ask yourself which one. I mean, I can't. Obviously, I want no part of Toronto, none. Especially as a favorite. Are you kidding? Can't do it. But you're right. Houston on the road. They have one win on the road in their last 4 games, and it was against Charlotte. So that's not a track record of road success that I'm rushing to take. Now, they are good catching points, but they got to win this game. They got to win this game. And you mentioned Fred VanVleet being out is significant, a big piece. And, now you're going to have to ask for everyone else to step up around this Rockets team. Keep in mind, too, Houston ended up just destroying this Toronto team recently in Houston. And
dominated.
And that's after that game. That's the game they played Oklahoma City right after that, and they took them to double overtime. And Darko got the response he was looking for. I know they lost the game and they had a big lead, but you take the Thunder to double OT. That's still very impressive. And they got the response needed. So this is a revenge spot. And this is a short turnaround revenge because it was just last week they played in Houston. So I think the Raptors actually probably bring it here tonight, but I can't back them as a favorite. Not a chance when the Rockets are the better of these two teams. And then on the flip side, Houston without Fred VanVleet, and their road record lately hasn't been good. But there is one angle I like here. You start to look at Toronto. They've been shooting the ball. This is an offensive lineup again. Quickly, Gary Trent, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and Pirtle. Pirtle's not a great defender either. He's in the paint, but he's a rebounder and a scorer. He's not the greatest defender down there. So this is a very offensive-laden lineup in the starting five that Toronto has. Now, Houston does take a hit offensively without VanVleet. We'll see how Thompson fits in there at that spot, but Jalen Green's been playing well. Şengün has been absolutely unstoppable lately. In fact, Şengün over points, I think I like that here in this game from a prop. I'm not making that official, but I would certainly lean that way. I'm going to take over the total in this game, even without VanVleet. The total's gone up a little bit here in this game. You look at Toronto, they've gone over the total here, I believe, in 4 straight games. They've been trending that way. I could see that continuing here tonight in this game because I just think right now their lineup is set up better for being stronger at the offensive end of the court as opposed to the defensive end of the court. And the recent results have bared that out for Toronto. Their offensive numbers in the short term, the last 3-4 game sample size have gone up. Their shooting numbers are better, but their defensive numbers and their defensive efficiency ranking has fallen down a little bit the last 4 games. 4 straight overs for Toronto. Houston, still for the most part, their last 10 games, they've gone 6-4 to the over. And more importantly, head-to-head, Rockets, Raptors, 5 straight have gone over the total. 259. We've seen some real high-scoring games, 232. We saw the meeting, of course, just a week ago, got to 241 as far as total points, that 135-106 Houston win. So that's the look for me, is points in this game, because I think both teams right now not playing great defensively, and I think with Toronto especially, this lineup is definitely better equipped for offensive success rather than defensive success. So for me, it'll be over 233.5, minus 110 at BetRivers.
You got it, Bobano. Over 233.5. What was the juice? Sorry,
just minus 110.
Minus 110. You got it. And it's funny. You can look at one book and see how they've handled it, and it really changes the way you look at it. If I was just only focusing on Pinnacle, I would say, wow, this line's not moving. It's a 2. This opened up at 6:25 a.m. So the move happened. And if you go to Bet Online, this move is a big move towards the Rockets. This opened up with the Rockets +4, and that lasted for 31 minutes to 2.5. I don't know what this Raptors team is going to do.
If this starting 5 is as is, Barrett, Barnes, Pirtle in the front court, Quickly and Trent, your starting backcourt, that's a much better offensive starting 5 than defensive. There's defensive liabilities all over the place in that starting 5, but they can score, that group.
Yeah. Oh, I get it from your standpoint with the over. I just have to. I gotta let go. I'm gonna let go of the Raptors.
Yep.
Let go. Eric,
I don't really lean Houston here, but they haven't been great on the road. Toronto just got embarrassed by this team a week ago.
That's part of it.
That's enough to keep me out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that makes me want to back the Raptors to show some heart here. Sold out Friday night. We hear LJ talking about that. But I won't be able to do it. So, but we do see some bigger bets placed on the Raptors. Lucky Power in the house. Great to see you. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have the Charlotte Hornets 10-40, 5-19 on the road to the Milwaukee Bucks, 33-18, 21-5 at home. Pfizer Forum, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Talk about the Pacers looking disjointed. The Bucks look just a mess here. And it hurt not being on the Wolves. Maybe I don't move on the under in the Lakers game if I had to cashed with the Wolves. So who knows? But Here we go. Charlotte 0-5 over their past 5. They've lost 9 straight, but over their past 5, playing at the 11th fastest pace in the league, 99.9 possessions a game. They're shooting 45.4% from the field and 37.9% from 3 over that stretch. Milwaukee 1-4 over their past 5, playing 16th fastest pace, 49% from the field, just 35.4% from 3. They didn't have Dame or Chris Middleton in the lineup in that horrific loss to the Wolves. So the Hornets come in off their 9th straight loss. They traded PJ Washington, so Seth Curry, Grant Williams, and 2027 first round pick. By the way, do we know if Olnick is going to be playing today? Did we get is that
game time decision? Nothing's been decided yet on O'Shea Agbaji or Kelly Olynyk, the new additions for Toronto. Yep.
Okay, so here we know that the Hornets were busy yesterday. Hayward gone as well. So, this lineup now with Martin as a game time decision, it's pretty weak. It's too bad. I don't know why Kyle Lowry didn't want to just show his form and stay in shape. I don't understand why he didn't do that, but I guess maybe I. Okay, well let's get to this spot here. We have Charlotte sitting here as 14-point dogs, 14.5 at Pinnacle. This opened up at 14, so we have a half-point move towards the Bucks. From a total side of things here, we have it sitting at 230.5. This opened up at 230. This got up to 232 before there was buyback. So we now have a half-point move to the over. So let's get to the cash flow. Then from a cash flow standpoint, we have 41% of the tickets and 53% of the cash on the Charlotte Hornets. We have 58% of the tickets and 87% cash on the over, which went up to 232 and then back here. So here we go. The Bucks second half back-to-back after losing their third straight game, 129-105 at home. And is what, Pat Bev going to play? I mean, who's going to give them the boost they need here? Are they going to take this game very seriously? Are they going to want to smash and grab against a very weak Charlotte team that's, very undermanned? What the hell is going to happen? Take it away here. What are your thoughts? Is this a Milwaukee first quarter bounce back spot? Take it away, my man. Floor is yours.
So Milwaukee is totally and utterly unbackable for me. Totally and utterly unbackable. And, I cashed a ticket last night with Minnesota against this team. Easy as it gets. I couldn't believe they were an underdog in that game, the Timberwolves. It was a complete disgrace, in my opinion, and a total lack of respect for the Timberwolves, who are just such a more cohesive, especially a better defensive team right now than the Milwaukee Bucks, and they just laid it on them. It was an ass-kicking. There's no way I'm laying 14 with Milwaukee. None. Zero. It's just not happening. Now, can I talk myself into Charlotte? Becomes the focus for me with this handicap. Can I actually talk myself into backing this Charlotte Hornets team that, quite honestly, I have been fading them quite a bit here, the last several games. I went against them with Indiana, Oklahoma City. I lay in big numbers against Charlotte. The Lakers, although that was one where they got me, and they only lost by 6. They covered the number. I stayed off the Toronto game. I didn't want either team in that game. They ended up losing by 6, but they did cover the number in that game as 7-point dogs against the Raptors. And that's going to be the key here in this game. Are you going to see Charlotte be able to hang tough for 48 minutes here in this game? And they actually have the rest advantage because they played Toronto on Wednesday night, and this is a back-to-back for Milwaukee after playing Minnesota last night. But, they've been absolutely dreadful under Doc Rivers, just like at least they were winning games with Adrian Griffin. I mean, if you're Adrian Griffin, you're probably laughing your ass off right now watching this shit. 1-5 straight up in ATS since Glenn Rivers, not Doc, Glenn Rivers, until he starts winning. 1-5 straight up in ATS in the last 6 games. There's no way I'm laying the 14. Do I want to get there with Charlotte? That's the ultimate question here in this game. The lineup is, your guess is as good as mine, Jimmy, with this Bucks team as far as who's going to be out there. They obviously made some moves yesterday. They better hope Patrick Beverley plays, all-world defense for this team because nobody else is, right now for this group. Lillard missed last night with the ankle issue. We'll see if he plays tonight. He's questionable as of now. Middleton also missed the game last night for the Bucks. He was ruled out. We'll see if he gets back. It looks like Pat Bev, newly acquired from the Sixers, game time decision. So there's a lot of uncertainty here with what Milwaukee lineup we're going to see out there. Look, the problem with Charlotte, the concern you'd have with Charlotte is just, everybody that's out. Lowry hasn't played a game yet. Mark Williams is out. Grant Williams is out. Draymond is out. Seth Curry is out. Davis Bertans is out. Cody Martin is a game time decision. You just traded Gordon Hayward away yesterday. So you talk about a thin roster. Holy crap. Charlotte is as paper thin as it gets right now. So, like I say, I'm on the fence right now. I haven't decided. Charlotte or pass for me, though. I'll tell you that right now. No way am I laying 14 with this mess of a Milwaukee Bucks team at the moment.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, when somebody doesn't want, when nobody wants to be on the side, I start trying to find a way to get on it. Now, I guess the first thing that would have to happen is Dame would have to be in the lineup. So why don't we start there and wait till we get some more information?
Dame's in. If Damian Lillard's in, and with just how absolutely just decimated the Charlotte roster is right now, via injury and via trade, there is a pathway they could roll and romp. But man, you want to trust them to do it right now with what we've seen? I can't.
And is Griffin laughing? He is extremely angry.
Someone else needs to give him a shot. Clearly, this was a firing that was not justified. It was due to some issues in the dress. Apparently, he was a little crack the whip kind of coach at times with this Milwaukee team. Adrian Griffin and Giannis and some of the leaders didn't respond well to it.
It's going to be hard for him. It's going to be hard for him to get another job after being ditched halfway through his first season. But let's roll on. I'm going to keep an eye on this spot, keep an eye on Dame coming back and hear what they have to say, before the game starts. So let's roll on. Next up for us, we have 10 p.m. Eastern action. And Justin McKelvey with Sacramento Kings, team total over 116.5. I moved on the Kings. When I was betting it, I was very close to taking the Kings and the Pelicans. But I moved on the Kings full game, and I got very low vig, -1.5, -105. That was at Bet365 at the time. When I bet it, it was -107 at Pinnacle. It's rare to get a better line at Bet Online, or excuse me, at Bet365. And then it moved to -110, maybe about 20 minutes afterwards. And at the time, the -1.5, -105, and the money line was -120, and I was like, it's worth 15 cents. Sammy Comer says, I would like the Kings as well, but haven't bet yet. This, to me, hit every spot here. It's very easy for me to move on the Kings, whereas the Pelicans did have some drawbacks, which we will speak about here, even though the Pelicans are playing much better basketball than the Kings. Don't get me wrong, but let's roll here. Denver Nuggets 35-16, 14-12 on the road. I think I might have put this in before the game was over, so I imagine they're 36-16, 15-12 on the road. Sacramento Kings 29-21, 14-9 at home at Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Denver 4-1 over their past 5, playing at the 29th fastest pace in the league, 94.7 possessions a game, and it was great for the under bettors. And watching all the steam to the over, it was just watching them take all 24 seconds of the shot clock. I was like, this is heaven. 47.2% from the field, 37.7% from 3. Sacramento 2-3, 102.5 possessions game. That's third fastest in the league, 48.8% from the field, 35.8% from 3. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Just 2 games left on today's show. From a total standpoint here, we have a 231.5. This opened up at 233.5. There's been a 2-point drop. From the point spread side of things, we are dealing with a -2 at -107. It's gone to 2.5 at my bookie. This opened up at 1 at 7:10 this morning. It lasted there for 8 minutes. Moved to 1.5. Then it moved to 2. It moved to 2 at 11:29 a.m. about an hour and a half ago. So we have a 1-point move. Oh, look, yeah, just a 1-point move. Sorry, it was looking like it's game for a second. 1-point move. And then let's go to the cash flow for this spot. You have 48% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the Kings. It's a perfect situation. 79% of the tickets, 92% cash on the over, and it's dropping, which is a surprise. And we roll. So, and Leonard Porsche says, today I hear Kings, Kings, Kings. one of the great things about when you are playing the Denver Nuggets is the Nuggets backers will move on them. You don't need to worry. And right now, when you look at the situation here, cash wise, you have 52% of the tickets on the Nuggets. So it's okay that we are chanting Kings, 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 I believe. So Jokic went for. So obviously this is Sabonis versus Jokic, which is worth the ticket. Jokic had a triple-double the last time these two met. He loves stepping up against centers who believe in themselves. So Jokic went 36, 13, and 14. Sabonis went 17, 15, and 7. And it was a Nuggets loss. The Nuggets lost 123-117, but Jamal Murray wasn't playing. And we all saw again last night, and we saw in the playoffs, what a difference maker that, clutch sniper makes. The Nuggets are on the second half of back-to-back after winning their third straight game, 114-106 at the Lakers last night. Porter Jr. Looked great. I mean, but Jamal Murray changed everything with 2 minutes left in the game. Went for 29. Jokic went for 24. Kings coming off their second straight loss. They looked atrocious. They looked really good at parts of the last road trip. That last road trip, they went 5-2 on the road trip. Then they came back and had a debacle against Detroit. The Clippers went 6-1 on that same time stretch of time. They went 6-1. They came back. Both teams only had the 1 day off. That was the travel day, and both teams looked horrific. I think it's a great bounce back spot for the Pistons for the Kings. And I think they step up here. I really do. They played really bad against Herter, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox went for 12 in that game. I mean, you don't think he's going to bounce back here? Harrison Barnes, who's been shooting the ball so well, he went for 8. Keegan Murray had 0 points in that basketball game. This just feels like a great backup spot, bounce back spot. So this was the only NBA bet that I'd moved on before the show started. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Nuggets Kings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think it's definitely a straight Sacramento situation here, Sacramento spot in this game. Denver off the big win against the Lakers, TNT, national television. You spoiled and Kobe's night last night in that game, and just a terrific, They showed why they're the defending NBA champs in that game. I mean, they closed out in the final 2 minutes. They played outstanding basketball, and they got the job done. That's what they do. And it was a great win for them. But now they're on a back-to-back here, a little bit of a letdown potentially. A Sacramento team that's rested at home after a loss that's not going to sit well for them. At home, double-digit favorites against Detroit, and you lose that game outright. They still do have a good home record, Sacramento, 14-9 straight up on the season. And we actually have data in our history from earlier this season that indicates that in this spot, we've seen in this exact scenario play out with Denver. You go back to December 1st and 2nd. Denver was at Phoenix, December the 1st. Big opponent, of course, big game. They were at Phoenix. They won 119-111. The very next night, they had to travel to Sacramento. They lost that game 123-117. So we've got that exact situation in play here. Denver coming off a big road win against a good opponent, a name opponent, going on the road on a back-to-back at Sacramento, and they ended up losing that game. It happened December 1st, December 2nd, and that's the same situation we're kind of looking at here tonight in this game. Plus, I like the matchup a little bit for Sacramento. KCP didn't play last night. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, an outstanding perimeter on-ball defender. And guess who's good shooting the 3-ball when you can throw De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray and Malik Monk and all these guys that can shoot the rock from distance, and Harrison Barnes, as you mentioned. That could be a problematic matchup defensively here tonight for Denver. Trying to defend the perimeter of KCP is a no-go once again tonight in this game for the Nuggets. So I think Sacramento, like I said, I understand why they're favored. I understand why the money's come in. I think it's just a home run spot for them, and I am on them as well. Minus 125 at Bobano on the money line with Sacramento. So that's minus 125 Bobano with Sacramento. I'm also grabbing the over in this game. Over 231.5, minus 112 at Pinnacle. I think it's offensive advantages for both sides. I mentioned that vulnerability that Denver's perimeter defense has, especially if there's no Caldwell-Pope tonight. Sacramento might be able to light them up from distance. But on the flip side, who the hell is stopping Jokic and Murray for for Sacramento. This is not a team that's been trending in the good way defensively right now. I don't think they have a stopper for Jokic. They just gave up 133 and 136 in their last 2 games. 4 straight Sacramento games have gone over. Now, Denver's been really trending heavily to the under. I get that. But we saw 240 in the previous meeting earlier this season, back in December. Kings won 123, 117. Game got to 240. I definitely think this game gets there as well. So Sacramento and over.
And was that over 231 and a half and minus 121?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. You got it. And Justin McKelvey.
Minus 112. Minus 112.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yep.
Minus 112. And I'm on the Kings minus 1.5, minus 105.
That's
and
Betano is what it is. Yeah, it sounded like Boitano. Yeah, but it's an Ontario sports book. Yeah.
I love it. And Jose, we are 1 game away from the horse race. Jose, can I confirm here that it was, because I remember, didn't BT snatch victory on Wednesday? Didn't he come out of nowhere and deliver the goods?
I'll double check.
Thank you. I believe BT, you came out of nowhere, and who was it? It was going to be Justin McKelvey was about to win, right? It was set up and done, and then BT fired with he said his horse has 3 legs. It certainly looked like there was 4 in that race. Okay, let's roll.
One last thing about that game, and as far as the over is concerned, I think Sacramento's going to push in transition tonight. Denver played last night, get the shot away before their defense sets up, which can be really good. So I think Sacramento really going to drive pace tonight in this game.
And another thing about that with the Nuggets, when you watch them closely, I've laid off the totals as much as I can, is when they are in control of the basketball game, they slow down. When they are not in control, they move at a quick pace. They're trying, it's when they're in control. When I watch them slow down, I was like, oh, this might be trouble for the Lakers because they have all the energy. They're ready to rock. And yes, BT, you were the winner on Wednesday. You're $50 richer, BT. Nice job, 50. And we're talking Yankee Franks too, man. USD, son. So please email pubsportsradio@gmail.com and get rewarded for being a gold member. All right, let's talk about the final spot on the board for us. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. The New Orleans Pelicans 30-21, 15-11 on the road. At the LA Lakers 27-25, 17-8 at home. Crypto.com Arena, Los Angeles, California. Now, it wasn't available for me, but I was interested in betting the Pelicans before the game started, and I couldn't. They wouldn't give it. But I knew it was going to be an emotional spot. And I should have doubled up on the under, but I'm trying so hard to stay away from totals that I didn't take the first half. But after watching, I think there was a heaviness with the Lakers last night. And it's because nobody on the Lakers can come close to Mamba mentality. And there was a heaviness. Even when the game, there was 2 minutes left, it just felt like there was this.
Isn't it ironic that on Kobe's night, the ultimate competitor, the ultimate gamer, the ultimate get it done in the clutch player in recent memory in this league, every time final minute, final 2 minutes, big shot, big play required, Kobe Bryant delivered. Isn't it funny that on his night, we got the total opposite of that from that disgrace of a display by the Lakers down the stretch, a puke job down the stretch in the last 2 minutes of that game last night against Denver, basically displaying all the attributes that Kobe Bryant wasn't in his career.
And, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. Now, nobody's going to have the Mamba mentality except for MJ. But, and I don't even know if MJ puts his shoulder right through one of his best friends and his teammate the way Kobe put his shoulder through Gasol in the Olympics. So maybe there's no, but let's just put them together. But let's roll here. So I think that heaviness will be lifted tonight, and that's why I didn't move on the Pelicans. And maybe we talk ourselves into it now. So let's roll. Pelicans 4-1 over the past 5, playing 24th fastest pace, 97.6 possessions a game. Also, JV not being in the lineup. You want him there against Anthony Davis. If AD and LeBron both play, which I expect them to both play after the letdown. So Pelicans playing very good basketball, not shooting well from three. Interesting, even though CJ McCollum hit all the big shots that were necessary in that win over the Clippers, that we were all, on. I think talk about the spots where we're all on the same page. They've been very successful, and we were all on the Pelicans against the Clippers. But 34.3% from three over the last 5 games. The Lakers 3-2, 100.6 possessions a game, 48.9% from the field, 37.1% from three. So let's get into the line history here. The Pelicans sitting at -2.5 at -107. There's been a 1-point move towards them, a 1-point move. From a total side of things here, we have a 232.5. This opened up at 235, so we have a 2.5-point move towards the under. From a cash flow spot here, we have 84% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Pelicans. So this was 98% this morning. So everybody thinking the exact same thing. 51% of the tickets and 92% of cash on the over. Troy says Lakers 1-7 against the spread with no rest. Pelicans great against the spread with a rest advantage. Says, man, this is a great spot. So everybody here in the chat on the Pelicans. Not one person has said the Lakers. The first of a back-to-back for the Pelicans. They play at Portland tomorrow night. The Pelicans look great in every facet of the game against the Clippers, but that was a tired Clippers spot. And Zion Williamson somehow averages 5 rebounds a game. I would not be able to coach him. Imagine if Charles Barkley was as big as Zion Williamson. I mean, it's just Zion Williamson just doesn't play with heart in the paint, and it would drive me crazy. When he gets an offensive board, like when he was going up against Plumlee, it was so easy for him to dominate the paint. And here he is averaging 5 rebounds a game. I mean, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And now you have no Valanciunas. Now he could play, but I'm not sure if he will. And everybody here on the Pelicans. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Pelicans, Lakers.
Yeah, everybody +1. Me, I'm on them as well in this game. Look, I was very upset that I allowed that emotional bent of Kobe's night last night to kind of talk me out of Denver, because Denver fit that great angle. And I talked about this when I did a show with Ski, with Wham, and with Dutch yesterday. And I talked about how these teams that are coming back home for the first game after a 4-game or longer road trip, they have been, if you bet against all those teams, you got a small fortune by this point. It's now, I think after last night, it went 2-1. Keep an eye on this. This is the angle. It's betting against home teams off a 4-game or longer road trip. The sample size this year after last night is 38-22 against the spread this season. That's over 60%. And that last night was fade. Now, the only team that it didn't work out for was fading Orlando, because Orlando covered against San Antonio. But the Lakers were off a 4-game or longer road trip. They didn't cover. The Bucks were off a 4-game or longer road trip last night against Minnesota. They got blown out. So this angle is strong, folks. 38-22 against the spread. Bet against a team at home off a 4-game or longer road trip this season in the NBA. And it was 2-1 last night. But I allowed myself to stay off taking Denver because of the emotional, because I thought the Lakers would want that game badly last night. The problem is they weren't good enough to get that game last night, and we saw it down the stretch. I mean, they just got totally outplayed, both ends of the court. Terrible defensive screw-ups at the end, leaving Porter Jr. wide open. Just an easy, foul line jumper. I mean, just fundamental defensive breakdowns for the Lakers in the last couple minutes in that game. And, of course, Denver's defense tightened up, and they started missing shots. And to be honest, the shot selection wasn't great for the Lakers down the stretch either. And to battle Denver like that, Jimmy, and play that hard and be down early, come back, tie the game in the fourth quarter, and then let it slip late on Kobe's night, I think it's a tough ask for the Lakers to pick themselves up again, play on a back-to-back with this aging team like LeBron and AD and some of these older players against a Pelicans team that I think their best basketball is ahead of them. I really do. I think this Pelicans team has a chance to be make some noise in the West. I don't know how deep they would go in the playoffs, but whoever gets the Pelicans in the first round, that would be a tough matchup for whoever plays them. Absolutely, it would. I like what I'm seeing right now. Willie Green's done a nice job coaching up this team. They're finally getting healthier. And I'm not talking about Zion. Zion is, doesn't move the needle for me. What I like about this team is their bench is solid. CJ and McCollum and Brandon Ingram are playing at a high level in the backcourt. They got a terrific wing defender and Herb Jones. They've got nice inside-outside balance. They attack the glass rebounding-wise. I just like a lot of what I'm seeing here from this Pelicans team right now. I think it's asking a lot for the Lakers after expending the emotional gas tank last night to roar back and play their best tonight. And quite honestly, I just think the Pelicans are the better of these two teams. So I've got no problem taking them here at a near pick-em price on the road. I'm taking the Pelicans here, but I'm going to go money line minus 135 at Pinnacle.
You got it. Minus 135.
And I got to run. Actually, I got to get going,
okay.
So I'm just going to say my goodbye right now. I'll let you recap everything.
No worries.
Great stuff, Jimmy. It's funny because we actually went longer with a shorter amount of games than we normally do. It's pretty hilarious. But we went in depth, and I like that. That was very enjoyable, no question. But, yeah, I got to get going, so I will just say shout out to you, Jimmy. Always fun being with you on a Friday. And everyone in the chat as well, hit the like button. Good luck with your bets tonight. Have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl as well. Hope you all make some money with that. We'll see you next week.
Be well. There he is, our guy, Bobano. We'll review all of the action. I'm not going to move on the Pelicans here. There is enough for me to just let go of the spot. There's reasons why I had trepidation and the whole world being on the Pelicanos. And after everything we saw, I really believe that the Lakers are much freer tonight. There was a heaviness last night on the evening, but in saying that, I'm not going to go up against everybody here. The Pelicans, I think that we'll see how it all banks out. And I agree. Yeah, the Pelicans are a better team, but get the pressure off the Lake Show. We'll see how it banks out tomorrow evening. Let's review all action. It is almost horse race time. Jose, my friend, big horse race about to pop off. We have 52 gold members. Let's review. I guess we don't have to. Why don't we review all action here after the big horse race? So why don't we do that? Why don't we have our big horse race here? $50 for the winner. BT was our winner on Wednesday. Again, you don't need to be watching the show to get that cash. BT was our winner on Wednesday. Brock Free says, how about the Pels first half? That bet has been golden. Look, you guys who are, everybody in the world is on the Pelicans, and you guys, I wish you all luck with that. And every angle for the Pelicans does sort of, make sense, except for the fact that the Lakers got to be angry and embarrassed about what happened in the last 2 minutes last night. That's all, So let's. But I'll cheer you guys on, and I get why Perky's on the other side. I get. Voodoo says finally live for the donkey race. Let's go. BT says back-to-back ain't cheating, and you know what, BT? Back-to-back has happened. We had back-to-back winners of this race. Director 97 back-to-back. So without further ado, Jose, take over. You call the race with aplomb and authority. So you take over, and but you need to start it with the horse sound. That is the most important thing here. So,
of course, yeah, I need to make a drop for this now eventually. So shout out to that. Appreciate everyone that's a gold member as always. Shout out to the guy earlier today with the great idea. We just were listening to his idea, obviously, $50 horse race. So shout out to him. We always listen to our channel members, but only if you're a gold one as well. So shout out to you guys. Voodoo Ranger, excited for the donkey race, and he's not even a member. That's how fun these races are. So imagine how exciting it would be if you have $50 on the line here as well. So let's get
also before we get started, that we have been in discussions for heats, horse racing heats at Palapalooza. One looks like it'll be $20 a pop, and
Yes. Yes.
So that'll be
that'll be a midnight special event at the bar. We'll have it running on the TVs. It'll be electric. Again, who doesn't want to be in these horse races? It's the best 2 minutes in all of sports here. So again, thank you guys as always for joining. And remember, drugs are allowed in your horses in these races. Shoot them up with whatever you want. And of course, they run faster if you cheer them on in the chat. So Jimmy, if you're ready here, let's put on our seatbelt. Make sure all the canals are ready to go. And we're racing in San Antonio. Look who's out in front. Early, James the Bag shot his load, and there he goes.
Oh, there are more loads.
Back.
There's more loads.
More loads, bats of loads, perhaps here. Joe T in the lead with Drew B, BT, Ian Shaber up here as well. Bunk, Hoots, Ron Crawford in the mix. Julio Cesario, which I make his name Julie Cesario apparently as well. So shout out to Julio as well there. Look at who's coming here. Justin McElvey, Crystal Craig in the mix here as well. Shout out to Crystal Craig, Rude Boy. Ron Crawford making a firm charge and having his way in front. Mike M now coming up here. Donut Silks. Sammy Comer, the king of the ATP on the tour here in the lead. We've got a very tight horse race. A minute left in this. There's nothing better in sports than the last minutes of the Pubapalooza Pub Sports Radio Gold Members Run. We've got 50 seconds here. The poll is coming here soon. Preston Ekdahl making his presence known, but Nut Flush Allen in the lead. Coin wants to fight. T wants to fight. Our friend Cheshire Cat making his appearance known here as well. Here comes Big Show, Randall, Kent, Browns Hughes. The pack is shifting. 25 seconds left. Who is going to come out in front here? What are we going to do? 20 seconds left. Big Show, Randall's lengthening his lead. Randall's coming in the stretch with the lead. That's a dangerous symptom, Randall. That's dangerous. 5 seconds. Randall, what do you got, Randall? No, Jeff from behind.
Wow.
Jeff Slaughter comes in, gets the dub, and Jimmy.
Wow.
You know what that means.
Jeff Slaughter gets the win. Mikey Money in second. Sammy Comer in third. Director 97 in fourth.
Oh.
And there are talks as well of giving something to the last place performer, which we will take a look at here in a second. But that means that the $50 moves on to next Wednesday. There will be a $100 horse race on Wednesday. If Slaughter, myself, or Preston Ekdahl win, it just goes back into the fold. So we have $100 on Wednesday. And Jeff Slaughter, that was wild. Coming right down to the finish. Nutflush Allen came sixth. Kelly McInnes seventh. Subhuman Gaucho eighth. Crystal Craig ninth. Let's go. Let's see who was. Who was?
It's a beautiful thing, Jimmy. By the way, Billy Freak just mentioned $100 on Valentine's Day as well. Oh my God! What a beautiful. We're doing a hearts race on Valentine's Day for 100 bones. You could take your wives or girlfriends or boyfriends out for a lovely dinner with 100 bones. Oh my God, that'd be great. Oh,
I want to see who was last, Jose. Who was last?
Let us scroll down here. Shot to me 11th.
Dabby 15th. Berkey 17th. Dutch 18th. Juan Ruiz 20th. I thought Ron was making a move. C-Mac 22nd. Cody Norton 23rd. BT 25th. Kent Davis 28th.
Nasty Nate 27th.
Yeah. Preston 30th. Me, I was 32nd. You're right. I did toss out a thick load and just nothing left. Joe T 39th. Who? Because there's talk about this. For
would it be
a prize? So who would it be here in last place?
50th, Ricky Bobby.
Chosen one.
Justin.
It would have been Justin. Justin just keeps getting snaked. Man. Oh no! If we got to start it next, we got to start it soon.
Fuck.
Just
Oh my god, that's too funny.
that would have been Justin McKell. That's a fun thing to do because you're not sure whose name's going to pop up there. It's a fun thing to do.
You know, and by the way, Voodoo 97 here is saying, think my landlord's going to be cool with losing my rent money on virtual horse races? God damn it, Voodoo. Here's the great thing about it. All you have to do is pay $9.99 a month, and you're in these every week.
Yeah.
Every week, twice a week, a chance to win $50. It's a beautiful thing, Voodoo. So damn. Boy, oh boy, you guys need to sign up for Pub Sports Radio Gold.
$100 on Valentino's Day. So there we go. That is our horse race. Jeff Slaughter just getting past Mikey Money and Director 97 there as well. Sammy Comer, I thought it was his time.
Yeah, I thought the best backhand in Pub Sports Radio was going to come through there, but nay, not today.
Well, let's review all action. Jose, stick around with me. I have you on the big screen. Thank God my computer still works after the beer spill. I'm very fortunate. Extremely fortunate. Extremely fortunate. All right, let's review all action here today. We got started with Dan Kelly, who gave us the Cavaliers to win the Central Division on January 18th at plus 750. They're now minus 170.
Is that good?
Excellent work. Excellent work. And he's on Cleveland to win the Eastern Conference at 11-1. That's how we got started here.
By the way, we need those fucking Magic to come through, damn it. That pissed me off the other day when they lost to the fucking Heat. Come on, Magic.
You know what? Their schedule, I deep dove. Their schedule is so easy. Now they have to beat the Bulls on Saturday night.
We need the Magic to come through for us.
I'm fine with that. I'm going to hedge at some point.
Well, that pays for my Spurs to make the playoff tickets, so we need it.
I got 200 at 10-1. I wish I had more, but right now let's see what it is right now. Oh, it didn't change. So the Heat are minus 140 still. They didn't change. It's exciting. It's exciting up here. So let's review all action. So Smooth Balls play of the day. He added the S today, so there was no confusion whether he did have two
ball or two balls. Was that something that happened yesterday?
Yes. There was some confusion over how many testicles he had because it was Smooth Ball play of the day. There's nothing wrong with that, but
of course, Lance Armstrong, great guy, right?
Quality individual, Lance. So Smooth Balls play of the day. Pittsburgh, Minnesota, first period under 1.5. Bobano's on the Penguins minus 124. The over 6 in the draw. Maybe this is just with the flower in that just too easy, and that I should move on the Pens as well, and maybe that is the case on the -1 line. Yeah, Johnny Crook, good call, Coin. Let's talk about the greatest men in history who have won ball. I like where this is going, Coin. I like where this is going. Bobano's on the Rangers team total over 3.5 -120. I'm on the Rangers puck line. That's the best bet of the day, in my opinion. Bobano is on the Ducks plus 236, and that wasn't easy for him. Bobano's on Dayton minus 110, minus 110 money line, and Billy Friedrich and Joe T both gave us the over 135 in that spot. Fat wins on San Diego State, while the spreadsheet play today for Ron Crawford is Nevada. And Bobano and I stayed off that one. I haven't moved on college basketball, but I do know exactly how I want to live bet Dayton VCU, so that gives me something to do. It is my son's 3rd birthday party. Well, not his big party, but the one with the family. Tonight. Bobano is on the over 142.5 for San Jose State, Colorado State. Then in NBA, I'm moving on the 76ers. I'm moving on them, so I will add that. Bobano's on the Atlanta team total over 124.5. The full game over 245.5, and Okongwu over 12.5 points. Then the Wizards Celtics, there was no action. Bobano's on the over 233.5 in Rockets Raptors, and BJ's best bet Rockets plus 3. Thank you, Bo, my guy. The 3rd birthday is the best birthday because it's the first birthday where they know exactly what's going on. And
so the hard stuff can come out this year for Carter.
Well, are you talking about the bottle of Henny that I bought him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
You're damn right. I got a big, beautiful bottle of Henny right there for the festivities. Because you don't know, this is also Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year this evening.
Who would have thought? Not I.
And the Vietnamese celebrate that. Chuk Muk Nam Moi.
Do they? I didn't know that.
Chuk Muk Nam Moi. Hornets, Bucks, no action here for us. But I want to know if Dame is in.
We're very cultured on this show. I didn't realize this.
Oh, yeah.
Even the chat, we were talking about guys with 1 balls, and Billy dropped the H man. So I didn't realize we were this cultured in this program. We're history buffs here.
You know, when it comes to sacks, it's important to us because at some point your sack must touch toilet water, and if it doesn't,
it happens to all of us.
You've done something wrong in your life. If that doesn't happen, it must touch toilet water at some point. Now, it usually happens around when you get older. But
1 or both balls have to be in there.
It does. You just need to feel that refreshing coolness.
Refreshing.
Yes. Of water. Smoking Tree on Hawks money line. Easy peasy for Scotty Rock tonight. Bobano is on the Kings. The Kings were a must bet for me. And I'm telling you guys, I get why you guys are on the Pelicanos, but I do not want to be with the whole world on the spot here. The over 231.5 also for Bobano. Justin McKelvey, Sacramento Kings, team total over 116.5. And Smoking Tree also on Dayton money line. NC looks saturated. Kung Hei Fa Choi. That's Chinese, but Chuk Muk Namoy is with the Vietnamese.
Again, we're cultured here. We're cultured.
Bobano is on the Pelicanos money line. And I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to live bet tonight because one thing that we deep dove into all 12 games. So if you don't make a move before the game, that's fine because you're going to have live action and we can go over everything that we did on the show. This was a really fun show. It's nice not having too much to do. Congratulations to all of the gold members because there's $100 now up for grabs because Jeff Slaughter was your winner. Jeff Slaughter.
St. Valentine. Oh, and it's not even going to be your first show of the week.
You're right. Yeah. Low Shack in the bag, back in business.
We might have to move Wednesday horse races to Tuesday horse races because I'd like to see Low Shack's reaction to these horse races. Yeah, I guarantee he has no fucking idea that he's happening, obviously.
Well, how do you think Pete's reaction to the 3-hour shows is going to go? Do you think he's going to be excited?
He's going to be so pissed. He's going to I need to get the fuck out of here. I have cougars to go catch, blah, 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 blah. So that's going to be really funny.
Is this your first Low Shack impression?
I guess so.
That was really good.
I guess so because we all know how Pete is, but I can't wait to see Pete and you back together, and I can't wait to see Pete's reaction when he looks up and he's used to like hour and a half, and then he's like 3 hours. What are we doing? So
he's not gonna like it. Before I started SBR, he was doing 40-minute shows. And
yeah, well, he does. This is my analysis. Take it or leave it. I'm out. That's Pete Loshak.
Yeah, not anymore. Get ready for 3-hour Tuesdays, baby. 3-hour Tuesdays.
Yeah, so
that is our show for today. It's funny when I lost the Utah triple overtime spot. I got really angry and I thought of this in us and I thought about this is what we chose. This is what we want. This is what brings us happiness. I can't let that law. And I thought about all you guys and now I'm sitting here with the weekend ahead of us, our Super Bowl live streams at 5:30. I just feel good. I feel good. This is going to be a winning day for us on Carter's 3rd birthday. And it's all because of you guys in the chat. You guys inspire us. You push us. You make us want to be better. And thank you for supporting the show. Bo Jackson, Kenny Ken, DC Capper says, what do you got for Super Bowl Sunday? Nothing like that, DC. I do live streams for anybody here that's a SBR, a pub. We said SBR, so it's in my head. Pub Sports Radio guy. If you have a choice now, you can go to some party or some shit, or you can live bet with us. And I will always make that available. And my family knows that. And now that's just going to be every Super Bowl. I'm going to be with you guys here. But
what time does it start?
It starts at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, an hour before the game. But my son's birthday party's from 12 to 2. We rented out a spot there. So it's going to be a fun day. I'm going to come up here. And I'm going to come up solo, leave the family back down there.
Does the game not start at 5:30?
It starts at 5:30 Central.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah,
No way.
sorry. I guess these fucking time zones fuck me up, man. I hate time zones. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
replied
excited
to
for that as
Sharkat,
well.
by the way. I replied this morning. Sorry, say what, Mama?
Yes, for sure. No, it's exciting to see that we have a live stream going and it's fun. Again, we'll say it again. You've never been on screen with, us at Pub Sports Radio. You want to dip your toes in. Great time to do it right there. Shout out to Swiss Horton, who I thought this is his first time with us for
many moons.
85 minutes. And then
I'm also extremely nervous about the live stream on Sunday. I
you don't think anyone's going to show up?
No, nothing. It'd be fine if nobody shows up. I'm very nervous about watching this live. I left the stream 4 years ago to be with, because I had my wife and daughter alone in Costa Rica. I didn't want them to experience that. Now we're back in North America. They can do whatever they want for the Super Bowl. They can go find a Super Party if they want. But I left. I didn't watch that break. I watched that breakdown in the fourth quarter with my family. If I have to watch the 49ers up 20-10 going in the fourth quarter and Mahomes orchestrated comeback, if I have to do that publicly, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, as I do not wear this hat very often. One of the last times I wore this hat was on a live stream that everyone saw me bare my heart and soul. So I understand that. I mean, today I have a gigantic game, fucking massive game tonight.
You do, and you should touch on that too. Dominic saying, "Are you planning on attending the Belmont Stakes in Saratoga?" It's a great idea. With Saratoga, I've been there for the Travers. I've been there on just regular days. I'm getting old. I kind of prefer just to be there on a regular day where it's not like slammed. But that's a really good idea, Dominic, that we should discuss.
You would have loved the Gulfstream day.
Good says, "What's up, chat? Late for the party. Need a birthday pick." Jimmy, happy birthday, Good. You've always had our back and supported us. Good, my man. I got it for you. Birthday pick.
Wow.
Slam it. Well, sorry. Bet size appropriately. I mean, be confident. I'm heating up on these birthday picks again. Rangers puck line. New York Rangers -1.5.
By the way, obviously casual hockey fan. I was shocked to hear that Jonathan Quick took Igor's job after being told last year Igor was the best goalie in fucking NHL, and Jonathan Quick was washed up as fuck.
Washed up and done. It's wild, and he's 38 and he's doing it.
I couldn't. But when you said that today, I was like, "Excuse me, Jonathan Quick." Yeah. But yeah, I'll give you a birthday pick too, Good, because I'm playing this game tonight. I actually thought about going, another solo live stream basically and watching this game live because I will be deranged in this game. Venezuela makes the Caribbean Series final. They play fucking cunt-ass Dominican Republic. By the way, of course, we lose that parlay the other day. DR can't take care of their job. Venezuela goes out there and throws a fucking no-hitter in the second game. Not a big deal. But of course, I should have done that same bet again because they played again. DR wins against fucking Panama. The U.S. Venezuela beats Curacao in a sweat of a game almost. Now, we're in the finals tonight. By the way, second or third place games happening tonight. So who cares? But final tonight, 7 p.m. Where my mom grew up, her baseball team, and it was funny. I actually had a poster of them in my room forever, and I didn't know what the fuck team they were because my parents don't talk to me about sports. So I just had this poster in my childhood bedroom forever, but that's not my team, I guess. So shout out to them. I'm going to bet them, obviously. I'm betting on Team Venezuela. The odds are -110, -120. I'm going to be taking the -110. The DR team is favored. We beat them already in this tournament once. Venezuela, as a baseball community, 2-0 against the DR in the last 2 years and then these kind of games. I was there for the first game. I almost developed a stomach ulcer that game. The whole game, I just had this burning pit in my stomach, and I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die right here, right now. But I'm going to be taking La Guaira -110, and it's going to be a sweat of a game. And I'm going to be at a birthday dinner tonight watching the game, freaking out probably. So it's going to be a fun game.
You also said you were going to tell us, not that I care. But, you're going to tell us who you're on for the confidence pool final spot where 4 of us could tie for first.
Of course. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to take the 49ers. Go fuck yourselves, all of you. All of you on the 49ers. I'm taking the Chiefs. I learned my lesson. I'm not letting Patrick Mahomes do this to me again. We took the fucking Ravens, and the Ravens fucking had nothing to show for us there. Now, was that more Patrick Mahomes? Was that more Lamar Jackson shitting his pants? Who's to say? Who's to say? But damn it, I'm going to back the guy. I'm just going to take Mahomes, not worry about it. If I lose backing him, I'll be okay. But if I fucking lose again going against Mahomes, I'm going to fucking rip my eyes out from my fucking head. So I'm Joe Public here. I'll be a square with everyone else. The 70% of the money, the 60% of the tickets, wherever it is. But I will take the Chiefs, and I will ride with Patrick Mahomes. Now, the last Super Bowl, like you mentioned 4 years ago, they were up big, the Niners, and they blew it. I don't remember a fucking thing from that Super Bowl, Jimmy, because I was fucking blacked out that day. One of the only times in my life that I blacked out drinking, and I only remember Jimmy Garoppolo overthrowing whoever the fuck he overthrew to lose the game for him. So, damn it, I cannot wait. The Kansas City Chiefs and the fucking Chiefs as a whole go back-to-back, and first time since Brady, and cements Taylor Swift as our Lord and Savior. So, can't wait.
Well, we can't tie then. Will you join me for the Super Bowl live stream?
No, I'm apparently going to fucking be somewhere, but I will let you know, but who knows. But I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I will obviously, I'm a good son, so I won't kick my father when he's down, and I'm sure my father won't kick me when I'm down if the 49ers win this game.
Oh, God, no. I would not do that. I there's too much on the line. I couldn't. The 900 or so for this. And my 500 NFC is very small potatoes here. I just want to. Nice. I just want to win the Super Bowl. That's all.
Yeah, I get it. I would prefer you win the money because I'm such a gracious guy. Everyone knows me. I want my father to succeed.
That's the first I've ever heard you say that out loud.
Of course. I would want Jimmy. I'm trying a different tack this time. In the past. Obviously, I rooted for your downfall, and I just proceeded to not make my picks. So now I'm going to change it up, and I just want you to win. I just want you to win, and it's going to be fine. I'm not going to tell you what my total number is, but I'll tell you the game's going under.
Well, it won't matter because we have different teams.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun.
All right.
But I think everyone else is going to be on the 49ers, by the way. I think Preston's going to be on the 49ers. I'm fairly confident in that.
Russia. What the hell's Russia?
Yeah, Russia. Who the fuck knows? Russia is just going to continue coming into these pub sports radio contests and take our money. But Russia, I'd hate for you to be on my side. We could split the first place. Be all right. Actually, we wouldn't even split because of tiebreaker. So go fuck yourself. Actually.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Thank you guys all for your support. Truly, Equanimus, DC Capper, Tori Coker, the Cheshire Cat, Kent Davies, Twin City, Tori Coker. Big on the Niners. I love it. Absolutely. Bo Jackson, Equanimus. Thank you guys. Robert Franklin, Saturated. Stay hot, Saturated. Man, I love seeing you guys. He's running hot right now, man. Keep cashing. Kent Davies, Caddy, Justin McKelvey. A good happy birthday, my man. Rangers -1.5 to the bank. Dominic, Ian Shaber. Dominic, there's nothing, I've been going since the trip since when we went down to Costa Rica and worked down there. I've been to Santa Anita a bunch of times. I have not been back to Saratoga. It's been over, the pandemic hit. It's been 5 years. Sorry?
Where's Saratoga?
It's a Saratoga Springs. It's just like upstate New York, about 5 hours from here. And 4.5 hours. I mean, because 5 hours to Pittsburgh from here, but I guess maybe it's like 3.5, 3:45 maybe. But
admittedly, after my Gulfstream experience, I do want to go all to these places. Yeah.
Oh, it's Gulfstream spectacular, Santa Anita spectacular, and Saratoga spectacular. Those are the. Just as glorious as can be. So thank you guys so much for your support. Have a wonderful weekend and join us. Please join us for our big Super Bowl live stream. And then, of course, we have our UFC live stream tomorrow night, free $100 contest. Please be a part of that as well. And thank you guys for your support. Jose, will you bless our action? And good luck, Jose. Please, I hope Venezuela takes you to the bank and delivers for you guys. So cheering for Venezuela in the Caribbean series.
Would be nice.
Jose, can you please bless our action and let us into the future?
Yeah, it'd be nice. By the way, shout out to Yasiel Puig on Venezuela's team. Very nice.
Yeah.
And shout out to my third favorite manager of all time. My fucking guy. I love him to death. Everyone fucking hates him. Ozzie Guillen, my fucking guy. World Series champion, also managing Venezuela's team. So shout out to him as well. But yes, it's going to be great. Can't wait for the Super Bowl, obviously. By the way, quick last play-in. First touchdown for both tight ends. I'll be taking them. That's just kind of my thing now. I've just been doing it for all these big games. Shout out to that's my Rob Gronkowski bet, as I call it. Shout out to Gronk. But yes, it's going to be a great time. Appreciate everyone. I cannot wait again. It's going to be an interesting weekend. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Jimmy is going to be doing the yeoman's work. And I hope it's almost as emotionally traumatic as my WBC stream was, but a more positive result for you. Maybe a more positive result.
I can't take it. Can't take it.
All right, everyone, let's fucking go. Let's get this weekend going. Let's say, hey, Los Bookmakers, let's go.